No, I
No?
don't always do it, but just you never know.
What's the type of person that you would ask that question to? I
Someone that
shouldn't
could
say what, I should say who.
whom someone that I could get into trouble by asking them something.
You can't get me into trouble. Not that I know of. Maybe I'll be proven wrong.
Proven, yeah. I have these here. I was going to say in your honor, but not really.
Hey,
Two.
what? So that picture you sent the other day, I'd never seen those flavors.
So Cosmic Rainbow, have you seen that one?
I never had it, but I think I've seen that one. But there's a yellow.
It might be just a different. It's like tie dye. It might be just a different name there.
No, I've never seen that one.
And then pineapple. Like this is whoever named this Pineapple Head. There's a little pineapple head on it. And then Frozen Bombskill. That's normal, isn't it?
That one's normal. That's my favorite. I actually just made a video talking about how that was my original favorite flavor. They sold me a lot of Palooza.
Oh, I saw that video, yeah. And then Twisted Limeade.
That one's good. I've had that one.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I don't know if maybe I was too tired, but I didn't get any of the usual like skin itch, like, yeah, let's go. I didn't get any of that from it.
How much have you
that's the first one I had. I bought 4 of them in England when I was there, like at the weekend.
It's not the first C4 that you've had. You've had C4 before.
No, I had some in your house, and I got that like buzz going, and I had it in not Charlotte, what do you call it? Spartanburg, and I got a bit of a buzz from that as well. Is beta alanine? Is that beta-ine?
It's beta power. It's beta alanine, yeah.
But it's said differently on the thing.
Beta power.
Yeah.
Are you thinking that's like super creatine in the drinks? Like they're trying to say something there?
No, I thought initially I looked and I was like, "There's no beta alanine in this. That's why I'm not getting it." But then I was like, "Oh, maybe that's what it's called."
I know there is because first of all, you said you felt the itch, and then
is but not from this. Not from this one.
Does it not?
That's why I was wondering. It has beta-ine or whatever written in it.
This one says beta power.
Yeah, it has beta-ine brackets beta power or like the trademark thing, and it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, slightly lower on the ingredients list on the limeade.
Oh, dude, I was talking to someone who works over there, and they said they're trying to remove ingredients. They want to make it a more holistic super drink.
They have they got that weird one, the kind of posh one in the States where it's like, the smaller cans, like the Jocko Fuel cans and the Nocco cans or Noco or whatever, the smaller
skinny ones.
They have those here. See, it's like C4, but it's like, it looks like floral looking, and they're like, it's like natural caffeine. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about natural caffeine. Give me the beta alanine.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir with that one. But yeah, I think it's Alani Nu that you're talking about. Potentially.
I don't know. It was like, it said C4 Smart Energy or something was what it said.
Oh, same thing. Okay.
Yeah. C4 Smart Energy, I think.
Those things are great.
Why do you not like Thanksgiving?
Who said that? Did I say that?
Yeah, you said it to me. I said, do you want to do it next Tuesday or Wednesday? You said Wednesday, the eve of the worst holiday.
Well, I think that it's not an unpopular opinion of mine that it's a whole bunch of foods that you really don't eat on any other day, and they throw them all into one day. And for some reason, because it's called Thanksgiving, now they're great. But you never eat turkey unless it's out of the deli, like a sliced up turkey breast.
Okay.
Do you eat turkey typically?
Yeah.
It's an Irish thing. and you don't have Thanksgiving, but from what I understand over here in the United States, people don't just eat turkey frequently. It's kind of a special chicken, lots of chicken.
Yeah. We have you can get these things in the supermarket here in the store. That it's like a tinfoil tray with like a turkey breast in it. And you just like take the plastic off and then put it in the oven. And you don't need to fuck around with dishes or anything. So we use that quite a bit.
To be honest, I'm kind of a fan of turkey, but
apparently there's something in turkey. So the way when you eat So like here we have like Christmas is our equivalent to your Thanksgiving, where it's like a big dinner and there's all like again shit that you don't eat. Like who the fuck eats Brussels sprouts? But we have them with Christmas dinner.
Do
But
you do gifts too or no?
yeah, Christmas, yeah.
Okay.
You don't do gifts at Thanksgiving, do you?
No, but you said it's
No.
like our Thanksgiving, so I was wondering if you guys didn't, and all you did was eat together
No, it is.
and
It's
give
a
thanks on Christmas, your Christmas.
yeah. You say thank you when someone hands you a gift if it's a good gift. But I always thought, you know, the way when you eat like Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, and you're like, oh man, I'm so tired. Like it's like a carb coma where you're just like, I'm absolutely exhausted. Apparently,
Right.
there's some chemical, not a chemical, but some
Tryptophan.
ingredient or part in turkey that just fucks you up.
Tryptophan.
Yeah, and it's
It
like
used to be in a Progenics. It was the Cocoon Progenics. You remember that stuff?
no.
Do you know Progenics?
I've heard the name. Yeah, that was
Remember
like one of the
last
original
podcast that we did, you and I.
on here or in person. The one that never saw the light of day.
The one that never saw the light of day, right? I remember in that podcast you asked me, or you said that you'd heard of me, you weren't a fan, but then you started to ingest some of my stuff. But what I'm bringing up right there is some OG supplementation stuff, like Chase and Bill and Seth. I don't know all about Progenics.
Yeah, that was not the original, like, or one of the original like supplement things around.
Right. Yeah. It was what I don't really know if I can say it's similar to Momentous, which is what's going throwing around all the affiliates at the moment, but that's my dog.
Just flashing everyone. Classic.
That's what he does.
We've a lot of stuff to cover.
Do we? Cool.
Yeah.
I got all day. Dude, your frog grip sponsored?
Yeah.
Have you tried them?
Yeah, hang on. Oh, they're so far away.
I just looked down as soon as you said that. I don't know what made me.
They sent me pairs. I'll tell you what I really like about them. What brought them to my attention initially, and it's so I think it brought them to your attention maybe in a negative way, but so they brought Tia on as an athlete because if you can afford to, why wouldn't you? Because it's like she's huge and she's like, you know, going to be thereabouts forever until she decides not to be. But they've also sponsored like adaptive athletes. Yeah, like adaptive athletes that are like finished, athletes that are probably going to go team, athletes, and all like Oceania athletes. Like they were Jay Crouch's first like big heavy investors. Like they gave him his own grips, his own like logo on the grips and all this kind of stuff. And like Bailey Martin, Can Porter, James Newbury, like athletes that you're kind of thinking like, oh, is it worth? Like it'd be easy for a company to look at James Newbury and Can Porter and be like what's the longevity there? Like what's the return on investment? Versus like Tia is so obvious. Whereas Can and James, it's like, are we just investing in followers? Like, are they going to have a place in the sport? Like, what's the story there? Like, that's really what our aim is. I just thought that was really cool. And the fact that they have like Rogan Dean and a few others as well that they sponsor, like that, you know, adaptive athletes and stuff. I think that's cool.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I had nothing wrong with the company.
Yeah. And they actually, because it was around the same time that I was having conversations with them. And I said, did you see Hiller's video? And the two guys are good, like they're good crack. But they said, yeah. They said, yeah, we saw it. And I said, are you going to like respond or just leave it? And they said, we were actually going to respond like, you know, in a jokey way, like say like some kind of stupid comment or whatever, like, you know, poke fun at ourselves or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that'd be the right thing to do. And then they said, but we left it too late. Like we didn't see it in time. And then it was like, oh man, there's too long. I was like, yeah, you're better off just leaving it then. But they said like, yeah, we were going to lean in, but we were like, it's been like a week. Like we can't, if we lean in now, it's like, how long have you been penning that reply? It just looks stupid. So they were like, we just left it. And then
I would have liked it at any point.
Yeah.
I would have liked it.
Yeah, I think in the end he ended with, I think it was Sean I was talking to, and he ended with, I'll do it next time. There'll probably be a next time. I was like, yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. That's a good way of looking at it. Allegra, my favorite podcast or my favorite YouTuber in the same place. Two good dudes in one place. Wow.
Cool.
That's high praise.
Allegra.
And then
zoom in my face on the picture when it pops up on the screen.
So I can't, when I bring this up, it doesn't, where the fuck is it? That was me trying not to swear, and then I swore anyway.
Why are you trying not to swear? Do you typically?
So apparently in the comments, that shows up as my original logo.
Really?
But I can't see it. I can't see it in the StreamYard, but apparently if you're in YouTube, you can see it. Are you in YouTube as well? No. And William, where the fuck is Will's comment? There he is. Yeah. How do you have a CPW logo? Pedro, do you have membership set up in the channel? I do have memberships set up in the channel, and I felt incredibly self-conscious about sending them up. But Cave and
is that why it looks different with Cave?
Yeah, that's why he's green.
What that was. That's cool.
And another green one.
I need to have a membership. So does Sevon. People would freaking go crazy over a Sevon podcast membership if it separates you or if it like makes you stand out a bit.
It gives it's something like it almost makes their comments like paid comments.
Right. As I was looking at Cave and his name is Green and T-Bird. T-Bird is green.
They stand out, and you can offer them. So there's like it's basically like Patreon, but on YouTube. It's like essential. It is hard to set up, and it's cumbersome to set up. Like it's awkward. Like I remember I started doing it about 6 months ago, and then I was like, "This is fucking stupid. Who's going to want to do this? Like I'm wasting my time setting this up, and it's awkward to set up. This is just dumb." And I left it. And then I got an email saying, "Oh, finish up your." I can't remember what it's called. Is it called memberships? I can't remember. It was like finish setting up your thing. And I was like, oh, I'll just go and have a look at it. And then I realized that meme of the guy digging the hole and he's almost at the gold and he turns around. I was literally like one click away from finishing the last time and I didn't do it. But yeah.
Hey, now riddle me this one. What's more challenging? Setting up those memberships or getting your t-shirts out? Which was harder to do?
So,
and which one's going to have better benefit over a longer period of time?
Like,
that could go either way.
I just want to say first, Lucky Camera Shafts, I was incredibly jealous when I was at Crash and I went to Taylor's house and saw his mouse pad. Yeah, I was incredibly jealous.
That one?
Yeah, Taylor has one. They're really cool.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, so the memberships thing. Oh, there's a new one. Look. New member. Look at that. Thank you.
Lucky camera straps. They made me.
Oh, they actually make camera straps.
Yeah, man. You wouldn't know it, right? Because look at that.
The last time I saw you wearing them, I just thought you were
a stripper.
Like, wearing dungarees, yeah.
Yeah, man. These are cool. These are very, very cool.
My britches. Yeah, so I did a pre-order for sweatshirts and like long sleeves, and the reason I did it, and genuinely the only reason I did it, was I want a sweatshirt with my logo on it, and I wanted a long sleeve with my logo on it, and I was like, I can't just go somewhere and be like, can I have one, please? So it's like I might as well do
it. You can.
I know you can, but it's just like look like a dick going in and be like, it's just for me, it's for my show that I do on the internet. Okay. And I talked to Travis about it at Vindicate after Crash. I was kind of messaging him about it, but we kind of got burned with my t-shirt pre-sale that just did not go well. In hindsight, it was just way too soon to try and do it, an American-based one. And I tried to do it in America, and I tried to do one myself for like Europe. And then it just confused people where they were like, well, where do we go? And, people were buying from America, but then paying like $20 shipping. And then people were buying from here, but paying $20 shipping the other way. So then we kind of chatted about it after Crash. And then I was like, look, I'll just do it myself. So there's an Irish company, like two guys, they're really good guys. But they have a clothing company and they set up like an affiliate branch, Hybrid Academy. They used to sponsor the show like way back. And they set up like an affiliate branch where they do gear for affiliates, like t-shirts, like jumpers, sweatshirts, that kind of stuff. And I had been talking to him about the last t-shirts that I did. And I was like, oh, the guys fucked me over. The Irish company that I used fucked me over, where they said, I said, how much is it going to be per unit? And they said, I can't remember, but we'll just say they said $12. It wasn't. It was like $18 or something. And I said, okay, cool, let's do it. And then went through everything, ordered it. They were like, right, the thing has started. Here's our invoice. And they hadn't included VAT when they were giving me the price per unit. And I was like, so it's not $18 then. Like, it's not €18. Why did you say it was €18? Well, it's €18 like minus VAT. And I was like, okay, can I give you cash then and I won't pay the VAT? Well, no, you have to pay the VAT. It's like, well, then why didn't you just include it at the start? So I was telling John that owns this other company, and he was like, oh, fuck that. He's like, you next time you're doing something, tell me, and I'll tell you the full price. I know like hidden costs. So he's delivering it all for free, which is cool. And it's supporting an Irish company, which is cool.
Did it do pretty well?
Yeah, like kind of like in the end, I was really pissed off because it did do really well, but it was like all like 95% American orders.
So
like,
it should have gone through Travis, is what you're saying.
I should have. Yeah, I would have saved myself so much time, so much hassle, and so much money. Now, like I was Googling earlier on about like, oh, is there a company that you can use to ship to multiple locations in America? And I'm starting to think what I might do, Savannah suggested it, is like package them all up, address them all, put them in a box, and send the box to like you or Will or someone, and then say, can you ship these from where you are? Because it would be cheaper for you. It's going to be like about $25 a pop for me to send them individually. and it's going to take, like, they might not be there before Christmas. I think I'm going to have them by like next Wednesday, I think, at the latest.
Hey, send them my way. I can do that.
How much would it be for you to send like a sweater in the post, in the mail?
$5 to $8.
Fuck, is that cheap?
It's not 25. That much.
Jeez, I might do that then. I might like address all the envelopes, pack all the envelopes, put them in one big like parcel and send them to one person, and then have them send them. Because as well, tell you what's really fucking annoying. If I send you a parcel, I have to go into the post office, give them your address, then they print out a customs form. I have to detail what's inside the parcel. I have to sign the custom form. I have to give them my address. They have to type my address into the customs form.
You gotta do that for every single thing.
Every single fucking one. I have to retype your address on the customs form. So even though it's written on the front of the envelope, I have to put a value on it, and then they print it out, and then I sign it, and then they stick it on, and then we start the next one. And they have to weigh each parcel individually. And I'm like, they're all the fucking same item. And they're like, what's the value of this one? Same as the last one. What's the value of this one? Same as the 16 that we did before this. Like, and meanwhile, there's a big fucking queue of people looking for their, what do you call it, social security check or whatever, like waiting behind me in the line, being like, who the fuck is this guy with his shopping trolley full of shopping cart full of parcels that he's sending?
All in the United States. What are you sending?
Yeah.
Do you know what That 70s Show is?
Yeah.
You ever watch it? You know,
like years
ago. A bunch of beer. Like, what's your business in Canada? Like, imagine them looking at you. Hey, what's your business sending all this shit to the United States? What are you doing? Hey, Vindicate said send them to him.
The other
very good at that. Very timely.
Yeah, well, I agree. There has to be easier ways to do it. The other thing that really annoys me as well is if I get sent something. So I'll give you some examples, and I'm not taking shots at anyone. If I get sent something, like I ordered the victim T-shirt or the no victim mentality T-shirt.
I think it's just victim, right?
Yeah, and I ordered a Paper Street, either a T-shirt or a hoodie, and I ordered something else around the same time. Haven't seen any of them yet, and like that's not a dig at the companies. That's the transport from one country to another takes so long, and then when they do come, I have to pay to get the parcel. So like I pay for the
you gotta pay to get it.
I pay for the item. So I pay, say, what's a Vindicate t-shirt, like $22, $24. Yeah. So I pay that, and I pay the shipping, and then the parcel comes, and I get an email the day before or a letter in my door the day before saying, hey, you owe customs on this. And it'll be like value of product, $25, VAT, whatever it is. And I keep saying, like, anytime I order anything on the front, I write, please lie about the value Like, please say it's $4, or please say it's like a gift or something. And in fairness, the only ones that have done it so far are Frog Grips, where they sent me stuff like last week, and I got an email saying you owe like 35 cents in custom charges. I was like, geez, they must have sent me nothing. And then I saw that they put the value on the front as $4.25 or something. And I Googled, and I think that's the lowest possible value you can put on a sold item when you're shipping it abroad.
Is there a percentage? So, like, let's say you receive something for $100. Do you have got?
I think it's I think it's 20. I think VAT is 28%, 23%, 23%,
28%,
23 or 28. I can't remember what it is.
So you receive something that's $1,000, you owe $280 on it, $230.
Yeah, VAT Ireland. What's that? 23%.
$230 if you get an iPhone sent to you from the United States. Or by that,
yeah, well, why would someone do that? But yeah, that's why. Because Savan bought me the monitor, and he was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
like the $4.20 monitor."
Only after he ordered it, I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to pay a shit ton of VAT on that." And then he messaged me and was like, the credit card company said it was fraudulent or something." And I was like, use the UK, use Amazon UK. Don't use Amazon US. Use Amazon UK, because Amazon UK have something where they don't. You don't have to pay the same charges when they cover it or something. Well, thankfully, they put down that it was a gift. It was a promotional product on the label. So I think they paid the VAT. Rogue paid the VAT their end. I didn't have to pay the VAT when it came. And it didn't come through on Post. On Post are the fuckers. That's like our mail system. That's like our, what do you call it? USP? US Postal Service? UPS? Yeah. On Post is our version of that. And they are the ones that charge. So the delivery companies, like if I get it delivered by UPS, or if I get it delivered by DPD or whatever, I don't pay VAT. But if it comes through the post,
hey, what does VAT stand for?
Value added tax.
Okay. I just keep on imagining a giant drum full of lard or something, like a vat of a liquid or a vat of powder.
It's punctuated, so it's like V.A.T.
Yeah,
it's
I've never heard that conversation before about 5 minutes ago, and you've said it about 500 times. I'm gonna clip that up. That.
If you buy goods or services in Ireland, you have to pay VAT. So like we had a guy come and fix the roof on our house, and he said,
you?
No, well, he said it'll be €550 plus VAT. And that's usually the line. That's usually where you test the water, and you're like, why do you leave the VAT separately? And you're like, are you happy to not pay VAT? So if you pay by check or by card, you have, like, there's no opportunity, you have to pay VAT. But if you pay cash, it's obviously better for them if you're paying cash, because it's cash in their pocket.
It's like when you tip somebody at a restaurant, always
they don't pay cash. They don't pay tax on it. So it's better for them, but they obviously have to find a way to put it through the books. Like, as in, they have to figure out a way to hide 500 quid, basically.
5 coffee pods and wads memberships. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Does that mean that you can just give them to 5 people?
Did you pick like Tank and gave him a membership, or how does that work?
Asymmetric ears. I saw Sean Lenderman in here, but I actually saw
look,
Sean.
I'm a winner.
I am a winner. Oh, that's cool. You can give memberships, dude.
I assume it's like
Lenderman said something about a deleted comment, and I'm wondering what he's talking about. Who deleted the comment I left earlier? Total BS.
This guy talks like Harry Potter movies. Don't talk about Hitler like that.
Yeah, I'm Draco Malfoy, man.
I actually don't. So the Irish, I assume he's talking about Seamus in Harry Potter, or else he's
Neville Longbottom.
Or else he's even more racist and thinks that I'm from England. What was his name? Lenderman. There's a comment. His shopping trolley full of parcels. This guy has cool words.
It was way up there. It was just stuck in the back of my head, because I really dislike when people delete comments.
Please talk in freedom comments. Who deleted the comment I left earlier? All right. Well, if you left it earlier, we weren't here.
We're not going to find it. But
anyway,
thanks, Will.
What do you think is the most common misconception about you?
What do you think are the most common conceptions about me?
Well, that wasn't the question. I know what I think the most common misconceptions are. I'm curious what you think they are.
Hey, the other day in the text group, I was having this conversation with somebody, and I just kept on asking them questions until they realized that what they were saying was dumb.
Yeah.
And I just tried to get you. Like, what are the common conceptions about me? I don't think that I'm anywhere near as animated as people would assume. I mean, well, and I should say that it depends on how much they've seen of me on stuff like this or the Sevon podcast, because of course depending on the flow of the show, I was just waiting to be pitched a question by Sevon, or it's a little bit more tame, much more tame. But if we bumped into each other at the games or we hung out somewhere, I think I'm a lot more tame than people would get from just watching one of my videos.
Yeah. That's accurate, I think.
And I don't know if that's the most common conception, but I'd say that that's something that I would guess people wouldn't really see coming. Like, if you watch the video of mine and then sat next to me here, like, all he does all day is stare at that computer screen.
He does.
Home and he's so chill.
Yeah, why is he not shouting? Why is he not like? Why is he not going freaking every 5 minutes?
They're on his phone, just like jamming on the freaking phone.
What about what do you think is the most common misconception amongst people who don't watch your stuff, but know who you are, or think they know?
That I have a bone to pick with anybody. Because people see one thing, and then the most common one is like, why do you hate Dani Speegle? And I go, no, I just get frustrated that it appears as if she's one of the few people who can get by on some things that others can't. And in general, no one should get by on it, that being movement standards. People will see stuff like the Frog Rips clip that I make about Tia, and they'll go, this is the 5th thing you've said about Tia this month. Stop picking on her. I go, she's just the most popular person, and it's the 5th thing that she's done this month that doesn't align with the 5 things she did last month. Like, it's just too easy at that point. And it's not my fault that she pops up on my Instagram and I see it and I go, well, this is easy. And I just clip it together and I throw it on Instagram. I really don't think twice about it.
It's funny as well, because I was actually thinking that I was trying to think what do I think are the most common, and all I'm imagining the most common misconceptions are the misconceptions I had of like bitter and angry and like lashing out at people, and like that was kind of what I thought until I just actually watched. Like, that was all without watching. But I was thinking earlier on, there's probably people out there who thinks he hates Tia. I was thinking as I was scrolling back through your videos, and I saw one video saying the most the most disrespectful woman in CrossFit, or the most something like that.
It's a pink background.
Yeah. And then the video directly after it. So if anybody thought that and was on your channel, the video directly after it is Tia should have won Rogue. So it's like, you can't, you know what I mean? You can't, like, it's so there's a dichotomy there that like you can't just say, well, it's always that if you ignore all the other evidence around that just doesn't suit your point. It is always that. Yeah, he hates Dani Speegle. Yeah, I just thought it was very funny.
Hey, dude, there was a point in time where I loved Dani Speegle. Like Wodapalooza 2019, or maybe it was 18, but I remember I was sitting at one of those side stages. It was whatever the workout was with handstand walk, ramp, and snatches at 225 for the men, 155 for the women, and she obliterated it. And this is when she was kind of making her tour, where she was going to all these new events, made a name for herself. And I thought that she was super cool back then. And less cool now, I suppose.
I think it is kind of hard, though. I think where like there is this thing in.
Hey, ESC Sound sent Alexis a pair of headphones. Thank you.
Did you see their new speaker?
I did. Daniel Brand.
It looks fucking cool. I actually think they might be sending me one of them. Harry, if you are, thank you.
Just say it was $4.20.
Please, put it was a gift. Say it was a gift, Harry. Yeah, it is kind of hard. I was actually talking to someone about this the other day. So there's an athlete I know that is like oh, I need to get sponsors and I need to, I need to make money so that I can do this professionally, and I need to, I need to take some stress off, and I don't want to have to coach. Like, I like coaching, but I don't want to have to do it. I want to like choose to do it rather than need to do it.
And then you don't like coaching.
No, well, I don't think they like coaching. Like, I don't think they see it as
then you don't.
I don't think they see it as a calling. I don't think they see it as a vocation type thing. But I think
that's kind of messed up.
They enjoy coaching people, but what they're currently focused on is making themselves the best possible athlete that they can.
Hey, dude, I'm gonna mess something up real quick. You got kids, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want someone to take care of them so you can go do the things that you like to do instead? You want more money from sponsors so that you can just hire a nanny, take care of your kids?
Oh, no.
Because you actually love your kids. This person doesn't like coaching.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
That's the only, hell.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, they were talking about needing sponsors and stuff. And like needing income basically that isn't from coaching to make they just want to train. Basically, they want to train and compete. And I was talking to a third person about this, and I said, well, they need to play the game then. Like, if that's what they want to do, they have to play the game. You can't not play the game and expect sponsors to come and knock on your door and be like, hey, we really want to support what you're doing. Like, you have to have some kind of a presence. And I'm not saying that you need to sell your soul, but I think that's where the problem comes, is that you like to make it as a professional athlete in CrossFit, as in like where all your income is coming from sponsors, not just competing, because there's very few people that actually applies to, but where your income is coming from sponsors and stuff, you have to play the game in order to make yourself viable, because sponsors are looking for a certain thing. Yes, they're looking for a skillful athlete. Yes, they're looking for a successful athlete, someone that's going to be at all these competitions, but they're also looking for someone who has good engagement on Instagram, who has a good following on Instagram, or on YouTube, or on whatever platform. But you need to be able to say, like, there was a time up until very recently, maybe it's not the case anymore, that if you don't have over 10,000 followers, fuck off. Like, don't even bother going near me. Because it used to be you could get the swipe up link after 10,000 followers. That was why that was like the barrier. Then it was just you can put a link, anyone can put a link. So I think that kind of became less important. But followers are currency. Like, that's your bargaining chip when you're negotiating or whatever. And then I think what happens is people start playing the game and then they just get lost in the game. And I think that's what happens with people like Danny Spiegel, where you just get lost in the game and you're like, becomes less and less about, this is making it possible for me to train to the best of my ability, and this is making it possible for me to put myself on a platform to compete at the highest possible level, because I have so little other stress in my life. And it turns into, fuck, I can make a lot of money doing this, and like I can fucking lease a car that I should, fuck's sake, I think only I can do it. I can lease a car that I shouldn't have any business leasing, like, because I have all this. Sorry, I saw that Danny Spiegel had a big fuck off BMW Jeep in her driveway the other day in one of her stories. That just popped into my head.
What is a BMW Jeep?
Like a BMW truck.
I'd like to see it, but I can't.
It was in a story as well, so I can't show you. But like that kind of stuff, like, you either are. So Tia can probably get away with not playing the game. Like, she could probably play the game less than she plays the game. She plays the game badly as well, but she can play the game less.
Did you see her stories last night?
Yeah.
Are you going to the Down Under Championship?
Do you know what really fucking pisses me off? It is so easy. And this goes for pretty much everyone on Instagram. It is so fucking easy to edit out that weird pause at the start of a video where you're not sure if it's recording or not, and then you realize you start talking. It's the easiest thing in the world. My child could, but you have this like, and then you start talking. It's just cut that bit out. Like, just start at your words. Like, why does everyone leave that in? Or they'll leave in the bit where they're like turning it off, and it's like, come on, man. Like, yeah, that shit really pissed me off. So she's not very good at playing the game, but she's highly
though, because she's the best. Like,
and even if she
was the best, they don't got to be good at playing anything.
She could go on to Instagram and put a picture of a plyo box and say, come to Down Under Championships, and put a link to tickets. And like 2,000 people to click the link. She doesn't need to do anything. But there are very few people that are like that do not need to play the game at all and will still have the same opportunities. But then you move down past that like third, fourth, fifth spot, and you have people that do need to play the game. And I think what happens, those kind of athletes they just get lost, and they just like, it's almost like you buy the hype. You just believe in yourself.
Do you have a favorite person who plays the game?
Like somebody who plays the game. Somebody who plays the game really well.
I think I got a couple, but I got one that comes to mind. Who's yours?
You go and I'll have a look.
Rebecca Fuselier.
Yeah, she's yeah. That's a great
think
example.
that it's at minimum interesting, and at most it can drive the point across, whatever that might be. And if she wants to include a sponsor one of the days on one of her, like she made one yesterday about a gym rat, and I thought it was funny. But it's also creative. It takes work. She's got to do it. She's playing the game by all means. She isn't someone like Tia who just won the game 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
And she's making it go. She's fun to watch.
Brent Fikowski's quite good.
He's good.
He puts up videos and commentates over them, and he's witty. I like his sense of humor anyway. So and I like him, so I probably would like it anyway. But he's good. I think the ones that are good are the ones that play the game are the ones that do not just put videos of them lifting or a picture of them lifting and nothing else, or like that, nothing, adding nothing to anything. And they're also not
something and ask why.
Yeah. Why?
Or they're posting things as if they are Matt Fraser. Because if Matt Fraser puts up himself snatching 225 for a couple, I remember back when Froning was competitive individually, 2013, 14, 15, he put up a clip of him doing some hang snatches. And you're like looking at it, you go, how much weight is that? And there's probably a bunch of people doing that. And it's interesting if it's him. But there's only so many people where it's interesting where you're just doing your accessory work. And then you think, like, what'd you put this up for? Did you put up because you like it? Because if that's cool and that's what you're doing here, then that's great. But then you got a product sitting there in the background as you're doing a hang snatch.
Yeah.
And you've never heard this person's name before, and you're thinking, what are you doing this for?
But I think as well, though, there are people.
That's it. Just do something worth watching.
Yeah. There are, or lean into that either. Like lean into the fact that that's what you do and make a joke about it. And you know what I mean? Like one or the other, but don't unironically.
That would make it worth watching though, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't do it unironically. Like don't do the thing that people don't like people doing on Instagram in a genuine way, like thinking that it's what people want. Do it like lean into the fact, like, okay, perfect example. Does Josh Bridges play the game? Yes, he does play the game. Do you honestly think that people ask him every day how he made it into the military? Like, no way does he get asked as much as he claims he get asked. I'm sure he gets asked sometimes, but every day he'll put up saying, I get asked multiple times a day, or I get asked very regularly, and I don't think it happens. So that is playing the game. Like that's playing the game. But I have no problem with it because his content is entertaining. Like his YouTube videos they get high views and they are entertaining to watch. Like they're interesting to watch for the most part. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of this, you know Jacob Heppner, right?
Yeah.
How well?
I mean, well enough that he didn't recognize me when I was talking to him, even when I introduced myself. But go on.
So I'm a fan of Jacob Heppner's, and I've become, I would consider myself somewhat of an expert watching YouTube videos, and I can tell you whether or not or why they're not doing well. And someone could just say, "Hey, I made a YouTube video. Can you watch it and tell me what I need to do better?" And I give them pretty good feedback. So I'm watching Heppner's video the other day, and he's standing in front of a whiteboard, and it holds your attention for all of 30 seconds. But then he goes on to talk about the whole workout piece by piece, just repeating himself for about 4 or 5 minutes. And it's a bunch of burpee box jump overs and the salt bike. And then it ends up being a 30-minute video where the dude is doing this workout the whole time. I can guarantee you that if people didn't fall off after the first 30 seconds of whiteboard talk, they definitely did once they realized the freaking workout was 30 minutes of burpee box jump over.
Or they do what I do where they just jump click and be like, when is this bit over?
And then you look at the video and it's not doing as hot as it should. Made me feel bad for him.
He is generally quite good. He's very good on Instagram.
Yeah, I do like Heppner.
And his original ideas during lockdown and stuff, his original ideas of YouTube were good. Like that was different. Like he did his news thing, you know, his good news
Right.
show or whatever. And he did
Fake news.
no,
He won that.
His was real. Like that was good. And that, like I like that kind of stuff where people think outside the box. But like, I don't know. Like stuff like that, like the Danny Spiegel stuff and you know, that kind of the stuff that comes across as disingenuous. Like I sent a thing in yesterday, like Brooke Wells doesn't have Noble in her bio anymore.
Right.
And I actually realized last week, this makes me sound so fun. Maybe I am pathetic, but it makes me sound pathetic. There's a schedule. She has a schedule for when she posts what she posts. So if you go back to Brooke Wells's page, you can see when the Beam posts, like they're like you can do it by a calendar. Like you could look at a calendar and be like, yeah, then the next one's going to be, yeah, there it is. And the same with there's another one. I think it's GoWad. It might not be Go. I'm not sure.
You go like same time in the same day.
I don't know if it's the same time or not, but you can go back like 6 days. It's like 6, 8, 6, 8, or like it zigzags. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I remember thinking like, oh, I bet this one was on the 1st of October, and it was, that kind of way. Before you click in, like when you can't see the date, I clicked in, I was like, I bet this is the 1st of October, and it was. And like, again, that's playing the game, but it's just so boring. And then you're like, how is it just,
hey, dude, it's the billboard thing. I brought this up in a video. You have 1,000 people drive by a billboard, and one person uses that lawyer, or it's like, get the gorilla lawyer. It's like, oh, really? You want me to get the gorilla? One person gets him, and it makes, and I mean, 1,000 people at a time. How many people drive by a billboard?
I guess I'm just kind of torn on it because I really want the athletes to be funded in what they're doing, and I don't want that to be taken away from people who deserve it or whatever.
Funded.
As in, so you have athletes. I want the athletes to be able to be professional in whatever capacity the sport currently allows them to be professional. And the capacity that they're allowed to be professional now is by not actually being professional, but by having earnings coming in from other sources that allow them to appear professional. As in, they don't actually have to have a job.
Let me bring this into a video the other day before I lose it. You want them to be professional in a sport that's being funded by the affiliates.
No, I don't want them to be funded by the affiliates.
No.
I want them to be funded by sponsors.
But let's wrap this into the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
The CrossFit Games, I tried to kind of make a point the other day, is totally being funded by the CrossFit affiliates.
Yeah.
Does that make the CrossFit Games professional at all? Because what if we found out that the NFL was being funded by, I don't know, Little League football coaches? There's all these Little League football teams everywhere, and their dads are putting all this time in to make sure that their son's going to have a game to play. And then the NFL is, people are clamoring about Patrick Mahomes getting a new State Farm deal. I think it's like putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think that it got really big really fast. And I think I've heard this a lot. I don't want to put words in Sevon's mouth on his show, but I think it's just like the games grew too big too quick.
Yeah, I think David said that too. They were like laying track and couldn't keep up, basically.
So whenever I hear about professionalizing or the athletes needing to make money in order to become professional or do it professionally, I'm like, well, at the very base of what the games is and what CrossFit competitions are, it's not a professional sport. There's like 4 professionals in it.
Yeah. Do you mean professional as in they're earning? They could just go to Rogue, go to the games, and not do anything else for the rest of the year.
I should probably say at that rate, maybe there's like 20 of them because Rogue pays well, the games pay well. No one's going to ask whether or not Rogue is funding Rogue, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe maybe Crocs the same way that the NFL gets money from.
Yeah, well, you have the same argument there with Momentum or whatever, and GoWad and whoever, like formerly Noble, whoever else. Yeah. As in, like they're the Crocs, like
right.
GoWad are the Crocs of the games that Crocs are to Rogue. Like they're an external sponsor that comes and improves the pageantry of it, I guess.
I hear what you're saying, but think that we would both agree that the number of people that you've seen wear Crocs in your life doesn't hold a candle to the number of people who probably have signed up for GoWad. Meaning that
the opposite.
Yes. Whichever way saying Crocs are way more popular.
Yeah.
More money to give somebody like Rogue.
Yeah. Like GoWad have 1,160,000 or something users.
No, they don't.
But I don't know if that's current or like ever. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's like we currently have this many people paying subscription to use our service, or if it's since we started we have had. You know, I don't know what the but that's just me being cynical. I just don't. I see that number and straight away I'm like now or ever.
Maybe hopefully we get as many people.
Hitter fit CPW Crocs. I've never worn Crocs.
Dude, I love Crocs. I got them for my coaches once. Like once upon a time at the affiliate, I got all the coaches a pair of Crocs. And then one of my coaches snatched $290 in the Crocs, which was sweet.
Wow.
It's one of the coolest videos ever, but the dude was shit with media and he had his head cut off, but you can see the Crocs. And he had a $290 snatch in them.
We you know the way Savan's show has all like this is so funny. Since I got this monitor, especially, things have just like my eyes have literally been opened. You know the way Savan's chat has all those names.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a single fucking one off the top of my head. No, this is what I'm getting at. About 2 weeks ago, I was like, "Oh, Barry McCockiner." Like genuinely, I thought it was a real name up until about 2 weeks ago. Because I think the reason why is because all the others are so fleeting. Like they're there for like a week and then they're gone, and then a different one replaces it. Like a new name pops up in the chat, and you're like, you know, Savannah's trying to read it out. Whereas Barry is always there. That I just thought, okay, he's obviously this is just his name. I also just realized now that his picture is like edited.
I'm writing this down because if I say it, you'll know what I'm saying. And I hope it doesn't invert it. Do you know what that says?
Huge anus.
That's one of my favorite ones.
That's a really good one.
I've never seen it on this show.
I haven't followed athletes like Tia and Brooke because they offer nothing of value to me. At least Fuselier and Shabburn offer things other than ads. But the thing is, sometimes Fuselier and Shabburn offer things that are ads, but I'm okay with it because it's entertaining. Even when it's an ad, it's entertaining. Or even when, and you're like, okay, they have to do that. That's fine.
Dude,
but what I don't
go. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Just what I don't like is you should not be able to look at someone's feed and predict when the date of the next post will have been and be right or within a day. Like you should not be able to do that. That's like, I understand, like I've spoken to people, athletes about it, where I'll ask like, oh, is it like a job? Is social media like part of a job? And some of them are like, no, I like doing it, whatever, blah, blah. Others are like, yeah, like it's a chore, like it's a job. It pays bills. Like, and I have obligations. And like, I've had it, like some of the companies that sponsor the show, like Self-Made, Taylor was like, I don't give a fuck what you do, like whatever. And he insisted on paying me more than I asked for. Similar with Fitter, they were like, can we just have like some kind of coaches conversation involving coaches that use Fitter, and you can talk about whatever you want, but just have ones that use Fitter, and then we can use that content for our own stuff. If something
pops up the other day that Taylor was on with,
Matt Torres and Jake, GoWad, Tebow's like, don't care, like whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't care, just involve us.
Do it.
He's like, you can have, his thing is all giving. He was like, well, we'll probably have something at the games, or we'll probably have something like when it was in Madison. He's like, we'll probably have something at the games. And you can come and like set up there, blah, blah. Like, it's never like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Frog Grip, same. They were like, whatever you want to do, like just involve us. Like, you know, any kind of ad hoc mentioning, great. Build for Athletes, same. LSKD were the only ones, and Whoop, they're the only two who had like expectations of like, we need you to do this many posts or mention or whatever. And like, it's not a lot because I don't have the fucking following to warrant a big serious contract or anything. Like there was a contract, But like it was like, hey, can you do once, like Whoop was something like, oh, one story a month. And I was like, well, I'd fucking do that anyway. And then they were like, oh, like, you know, one giveaway a quarter. And I was like, well, I mean, that works better for me than it does for you probably, but okay. And then LSKD were like, oh, we want you to do a live show in Miami. And I was like, that works well for me. And then they're like, oh, maybe at the games, if we're at the games, you could do a live show there. I was like, again, that works well for me. And then they said, oh, you need to do, I can't remember the number, but again, it was like 2 posts a month or something, or 2 stories a month or something. And I was like, that's nothing. I wear the stuff all the time, so it's not hard to do. But that's at my level. So then if you go up to a different level and it's like, hey, we're going to give you $100,000 a year, or we're going to give you $250,000 a year, and we need you to make a post every 2 weeks, and we need you to make a story every second day, and we need you to, you know, like the list starts getting longer. Then if those athletes who are playing the game and are maybe lost in the game are looking at it thinking, that's a shit ton of money. So, okay, I'll do it. And then they have this obligation, and then Instagram becomes a job. And then it's like, oh, click. Like my soul, like a little bit of my soul is dying every time I press send, but my bank balance is growing every time I press send.
I'm pretty sure they don't press send.
Well, you know what I mean. Publish.
No, I don't think they press publish.
Oh, you think someone else does it?
I mean, don't we all know that Froning doesn't use his Instagram?
That was one of the biggest mistakes he ever made.
not using his own Instagram?
Saying that he doesn't do it.
Now, we know that about him. And
he does when it's hunting pictures. He uses his own Instagram when it's hunting pictures because he likes getting into the comments. That's him.
Okay. Well, so what does that mean about many of the other people out there? They probably can't even be trusted with their own Instagram. Because if it really is how they're making a living, look what happened with mine. Say it. Pull that back up. What are you doing getting rid of that? Say the N-word.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Like the names that you wouldn't even think of are just like, it's so bizarre.
Like this one. Trigniak.
But real. I think that like people like Brooke are interesting. I don't want to get lost too much in the weeds here, but like I think people like Brooke are interesting because yeah, like Will is saying, there's posts that you can schedule on. I think that's what she's done. I think she said, all right, here's my beam thing that needs to be out the first half of the week. Here's my GoWad thing that needs to be out the second half of the second week. Here's my formerly Noble thing that needs to be out, whatever. I think that is part of it.
Who do you think the next clothing company is going to be that she signs with? This is going to be one. There's got to be one, right?
It's just going to be fucking. It's just going to be tier. Like it's just going to be tier. Yeah. Who else? Like,
doesn't that make you want to vomit?
Like I don't like tier because it's just market saturation.
Nothing to do with tier. Nothing to do with Noble. Nothing to do with Brooke. But it's with like the idea that tomorrow this is a rain.
Yeah. Why? Having had 3 years of here I am at the Noble Film Festival, here I am with my Noble family, here I am, Noble, like Noble is the best, Noble is the greatest, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like
it makes
tier. Have I told you guys about tier?
Let me tell you all about how great tier is. Now, here's the thing. You could actually pitch that in a way to me where it makes some sense. Because Noble is such shit. You can say, it's so much better over here. And I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but then it's also like, okay, but then you've lied to us for the last like 4 years saying Noble is the best. That's the thing.
Now they can say that they threatened to, I don't know, they threatened her. They made me say it. And then all of a sudden, like, hey, Brooke's the coolest chick out there.
Yeah, Travis took what do you call him? Todd took my phone. And he's been making posts for me for the last like 6 months. Yeah, I reckon there's going to be a big change with her now in the next 6 months.
Big change how?
Similar mindset to the I want to be bigger than CrossFit. Because she's spending a lot of time.
It's not that hard to do, right?
I think Todd Menley is like one-on-one, like I don't know, is he representing her or mentoring her or what? But he's around her a lot, and he's doing this whole like he's helping HWPO somehow. He's helping other companies with like marketing or something. I don't know what he does, But I bet in the next 6 months, there was a random video she put up like last week. She was at some weird conference thing that seemed like a HWPO. They were all there. What the fuck is her name? Brooke. They were all there in some mountain resort or something. Did you see that?
No, but I did see her hanging out at like Niagara Falls or something.
Yeah. It wasn't Niagara Falls. It was this mountain place.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I
but
did see it.
the start. Hang on.
I was in Colombia 24 hours ago, and now I'm here in Banff. Follow me.
Like what the fuck video is that? It doesn't fit.
Falls in Colombia.
It doesn't fit anywhere. Banff. Like who the fuck named that place? First of all, Banff. It's like you're missing a vowel in the middle. But like that post is so far out off like pieced for all of her other posts.
That's what happens when Industry Todd runs your Instagram.
That's what I mean. It's like it's changed. Just a sudden abrupt change. And like since then there's been one post that's CrossFit related. And the rest of them are like ads, or which is standard for her, I guess. But you know what I mean? I reckon there's something coming with her in the next little while. Anyway,
I'll be watching. Hey, yeah. Dude, I was telling someone the other day that it's like bodybuilding for a long time. There was Schwarzenegger, and then there was all this bullshit with all these people who would be in the muscle and fitness magazines. They're clearly all juiced up, 100%, no way around it. Take my protein powder. Yeah. Kai Muscle, it's beef protein. It's different. I'm like, all right, it's different. And you're on steroids, but it got me when I was younger, for sure. Like I bought some beef protein because of Kai Green.
Yeah.
And at a certain point in time, like now Chris Bumstead's around and it's kind of cool again, but it became a laughing stock. And that's the way I look at CrossFit. And that's a big reason about why I started to just dig into it, because it's a fucking joke at this point. You look at all these people, it's like, you don't love this mattress, Brooke. You don't love frog grips, Tia. You wore Bear Complex grips last weekend, Tia.
Yeah. The disingenuousness is hard to stomach, I think.
So, and what I was going to say, I don't know, 10 minutes ago or so, was that it's like you click on Instagram and you use that thing to look at stuff. It's like you turn on the TV and you want to go watch a show. And at a certain point in time, you buy a subscription to Netflix and you understand that there's no commercials, and that's great. And you on Instagram, and Tia's entire Instagram is a commercial, and Brooke's entire Instagram is a commercial, and it turns you off. You literally turn it off. Like, screw this. Someone just said they unsubscribed because of it. And at a certain point in time, you just jump to another platform like Netflix.
Yeah, like I had a company message me today, a guy that I'm kind of friendly with, and he was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, fuck it, it was Rad." So Rad messaged me. They used to sponsor the show like 2 years ago, up until a year ago, and they messaged me and were like, "Hey, do you want to have?" I was supposed to have Ben, the founder, on the show like 6 or 8 months ago, and it just didn't work out. And he said, "Oh, do you want to have Ben on the show like in January?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually going to Wodapalooza, and I assume you guys are going to be there. I could have him on the show there." And he said, "Oh, we actually we'd rather it came out before Wodapalooza because we want to talk about like what we're going to do at Wodapalooza. Like we want to use." And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough, makes sense." And he said, "Cool." And I gave a couple of dates, and I was like, "Any of those work?" After that, I'm going to Miami, so that's not going to work. So just let me know. He's like, "Cool. How much do you want for that?" And I replied, and I was like, "Nothing." And then he was like, "He was like,
can I be your agent? Let me be your agent."
He was like, "Well, we can't do that." He was like, "You have a business and we have a business, and we need to we both need to pay bills and shit." But I was like, my response, I just said, "Yeah, mine's a hobby." I was like, so I said, then I just picked a number off the top of my head because he was like insisting, and I didn't know what to say. So I was just like, like $200. And then I was like, "Is that too much?" Like I typed all this in the email.
Let me
I was
be
like,
your agent.
I said, "I don't know, $200. Is that too much? Is that not enough? I've never done one episode before." And I was like, "I'm happy to have him on without being paid to have him on. I want to have him on the show." And then I said, "I'll tell you what, do like $200 or else do one of everything that's in the next like Rad release. So like a pair of the trainers, a pair of the runners, a t-shirt or whatever else comes with it, and just send me all that stuff and I'll just take that." I was like, I'd be more than happy with that. Because like the reason I'm telling that is because it's in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have told that. Fuck it. The reason I'm telling that is that I think that shows whatever the opposite of disingenuous is. Genuineness. Genuine.
It would just be genuine, yeah.
Yeah. That like I had no idea that there was money being talked about or that that's what the plan was. When I was like, yeah, of course, I'd love to have him on. And then it was like, hey, we want to give you something. Like, no, I actually don't want anything to have. That's weird. He's coming on the show because I want him on the show, not because I'm being paid to have him on the show.
Whereas I think $200 to come on the show. do I got to go burn red now? I got to go burn down red. Like, this is your fault.
Whereas I feel like a lot of other people, it's the reverse. It's like, hey, we want to have him on the show. Cool, it's going to cost this. Or like, do you know what I mean? Whereas like, maybe I'm just too small-minded. Maybe I don't put enough value in what I do or something. And I just think like, oh, I'm happy to have people on and I have sponsors for the show and then they foot the bill so I can keep doing it. So I don't expect like, I get messages sometimes from agents saying like, hey, such and such a person is like wants to have a big 2024. Would you mind having them on the show? Like, would you have any, it's usually like, would you have any interest in having them on the show? And like, my response is always like,
yeah, $100.
Well, I'll check first. I'll look at their Instagram and be like, are they entertaining? Are they anyway interesting? Are they dull? Are they boring? Whatever. And I'll reply and be like, yeah, of course, love to have them on. Then after that conversation with Rad, I was like, fuck, maybe I'm supposed to say, yeah, here's my rates. Like, I was like, maybe I'm supposed to do it that way. But then the flip of that is 2 years ago, I asked to have Cara Saunders on the show and her agent was like, yeah, it's this much for 20 minutes, this much for half.
You know what you do with all that, everything you just told me? Those people who you've never heard of and you're looking like, are they boring? It's your job to make them exciting. And I think you could probably do that. And if you said, yeah, it's $100, and let's say
I've never found anyone that I've thought was boring enough not to have on. I've found people that I've had on and after the fact was like, fuck, they were boring. But I've never had one beforehand.
Well, but so these sub not so boring people, you get 10 of them at 1,000, and then you do come back to Cara and you found out it's $1,000 to have her on and be like, great, I got it right here.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of this circle where it's like we had all these people on.
I've toyed. What's the name of that messaging service or where you pay Cameo? Is it where you pay to have someone?
Yeah.
I've toyed with booking Tia on Cameo for an hour. I was like, I wonder could you book her for an hour, and then just like it's a podcast.
How much is it for an hour?
I didn't look. I saw it's like fucking $50 or something for a message. So I was like, it's going to be like $1,000. But like,
if I look for it real quick,
go ahead. But like Cara Saunders' agent that time, that was ages ago, and he was like, the thing that really annoyed me was that there was no discount the higher up you went. So it was like, I can't remember the exact numbers. $20 for 20 minutes, $40 for 40 minutes, and I was like, wait, should there not be some kind of like? It's only 35 for 40 minutes. Like, should I not be getting the more I book? It should be cheaper. Porter? No, Cara Saunders.
Cara Saunders, okay.
No, Cam Porter's a good friend. He'd come on regardless.
Hey, it's $300 for a personal video from Tia,
and that's like 5 minutes.
I don't think it says anywhere around here, but it just says $300 for a video.
Unless I book a video and then I just in the comments or in the notes section, I just say this will be an hour long and here's the link for StreamYard. I just pay $300.
And I need you to do it at this point in time.
Yeah, it has to be at like 8 p.m. GMT. But I think as well there's a lot of those, like, I don't think Cara Saunders' agent was a CrossFit type agent. Do you know what I mean? Like, the other agents that approach me would never ask me to pay for someone to come on because they know the way it works. It's like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Like, the athletes want an audience, I want an audience, and I want to give them an audience. So if I have to pay them to come on, it's going to put a barrier of entry that I can't hurdle. And if they have to pay me to come on, it's going to put a barrier of entry that they won't want to hurdle. So it's like, you just remove the barrier of entry and then no one has to jump through any hoops.
What kind of agent was it if it wasn't a CrossFit agent?
I don't know. I think it was, the way they have those, there's like managers, those other types that are like, they're not from CrossFit and they come into, they're like, oh, this person, they'll see like Tia and they'll be like, fuck, like there's a cash cow I need to get, like, you know what I mean?
Like bites their lip.
Yeah. Like there's someone I know that has an agent that I know isn't a CrossFit type agent, and they've messaged me more than once asking for like, oh, have you any contacts at Reebok or Tier or wherever? And I don't mind, but it's like, get a different agent, like get an agent that knows the sport and that knows how it works and how the back scratching works and whatever. Like, it's just, I've got this great agent. Now he has no contacts at all in the sport, doesn't know any other agents, doesn't know any companies, doesn't have any emails of anyone in any kind of company relative to the sport. But yeah, he's a fucking good guy. It's like,
Sounds
right,
like a shit agent.
what's he bringing to the table? It sounds like a guy who, like, maybe he's a great agent, but like somewhere else, like, or for a different sport or for a different.
Like The Matrix. You ever see that?
Yeah, like that's going to be a guy who comes in and says, who sits down with, hypothetically, sits down with Rain and says, we want $20,000, and Rain laugh him out of the room. You know what I mean? They're like, or like who just doesn't know what the pitch, like who's thinking like of motocross or something, and then comes into CrossFit and just doesn't have any of the numbers that are relevant to anything. That's the issue.
Yeah, that'll be $10,000 to have my client on your show, Pedro. Hey, does that mess with you at all? Going by Pedro?
No, I actually just basically abandoned Peter.
Hey, what does your wife call you?
That's a good question. Nothing. We don't really say each other's names. Mom and dad. We usually say mama and dada now because the kids. So if we're talking to each other in front of the kids, we'll say that. If we're talking about the kids, we talk to each other in Irish because the kids can't speak Irish yet. So we start talking about them. We're like, you'd be like, oh man, she's being such a prick in Irish.
Hey, dude, for some reason, I never really thought that you spoke Irish.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'm fluent, but I get by.
You live in Ireland?
Yeah.
And you can partially speak. How fluent would you need to be? How many people there are fluent in Irish?
I don't know, a few thousand.
I would. That's it. Are there only how many people live there? A few thousand.
It's a dead language. No, it's a dead language. It's like, so I'm not going to go into the whole history of it, but basically, like,
please,
English,
no, I want to know.
The English fucked it all up, and they pushed all the people that spoke like all the classic Irish speakers over to one side of the country, and then there's like little pockets called Gaeltachts, like areas that you speak Irish in, and they're like little pockets around the place, and
Alpaca.
Nobody else does. It's a requirement in school. You have to learn Irish in school, like in elementary school and in high school and middle school. You have to learn Irish, and you have to be examined in Irish, and you have to pass your Irish exams in order to move on to university. If you don't get a C, you don't move on. Like you can get rejected from courses. So essentially every day I go into school and I teach kids that do not want to learn Irish for 40 minutes a day.
They've realized that it's a waste of time, huh?
They hate it. The way it's taught is shit, and the books are shit. And you're just like,
just tell me that you teach it, but you don't even really know how to speak the whole thing.
I know more than a fucking 12-year-old, and that's where my level stops. That's the most I teach. So
yeah,
like
I
I'm not
math. I could certainly teach math.
I'm shit at maths, but I can teach it to long division. Like once it goes beyond that, I'm like, no, I'm not touching it. But yeah, I can get to that.
5 apples, and you have 4 more apples. How many apples do you have?
Yeah. But yeah, Irish is like, it's a dying language basically. Like it's on signposts and shit. But like you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to buy well, you probably would, but you wouldn't be able to buy like Shoe Dog in Irish. Do you know what I mean? Like a book like that.
What's a Shoe Dog?
Shoe Dog, the book, like the Nike book, the story of the guy that founded Nike.
Nike?
Nike, yeah, Nike.
Are you looking at the book?
Yeah, it caught my eye. You wouldn't be able to buy that in Irish. Like it's the language is that dead. But you probably, I'm assuming you're able to buy that in Spanish. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. Probably. Maybe that's a bad example. I don't know.
No, it's a good example.
Do you think that if Greg was, this is Dylan Lowen's question from about 45 minutes ago, Ariel's husband, do you think that if Greg was still in charge of CrossFit, would you be as active as you currently are? Like if this is 2018, 2019,
no,
would you have as much to give out about? Would you just not give out, or do you think you wouldn't have as much to give out about?
I'd probably still be an affiliate owner.
Okay.
I'm not an affiliate owner because Greg is not at the helm. And I can say that pretty concretely because the only
Even though
time
it's
that I
still
ever
his
had,
methodology, even though it's still his like foundation of it, it's just the company now you've lost faith in the company basically.
I think that that's something that you can now see present day, but in the current time, I would say that I was one of a few people who, and I've said this before, it's all about fitness. Like I want to create a place where I have 150 people, which I did, and they'd come in, they'd work out, maybe they'd spend time before and after, so they'd have an hour to an hour and a half. Some people were there for 2 hours, and that was great. I really like that people like to spend time in my place. When Greg did that thing, made a tweet, Floyd 19 did that thing. I like to say the things I'm talking about the best I can.
You're not afraid. You're not afraid to say Voldemort.
I'm just kind of stupid and I forget sometimes, but no, I'm not afraid to say things. But I was one of few people who was just saying, guys, if we work out here, you're saying something, and you're saying something, and you're both stupid because this is a place of fitness, and we should be happy to be here because of the things that he put into play that allowed us to all be here. Like I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. So shush. No, Andrew, you got to do something. No, I'm like, no, I don't. This is a fitness place. Like shush. But then everyone started to show their true colors, and by everyone, I mean that everyone bounces off of CrossFit. Everybody who put up that black square, that black square means something. It means that you don't believe in the person who put everything forth. And it kind of like really fucked with me as an affiliate owner. The fact that people were just bouncing. It's literally this.
Yeah.
It's hey, I'm a noble athlete this week and I'm a tier athlete next week. It's like, well, what the fuck? I thought that you believed in this guy.
It's funny as well because I wonder if the competitive athletes hadn't done it, would other people have done it? As many other people. Do you know what I mean?
Noah Olsen was out and
Catching was out. Yeah, I wonder if they hadn't done it, would other people not have felt this pressure to take a side?
Later saying that the CrossFit Games should just go away and fuck what the athletes have to say about it, because at the grand scheme of things, 300,000 people signed up for the Open. 1,000 have aspirations of moving on. So you've got 299,000 who are still going to be paying Open registration fees into this hole of stuff that just is affiliate funded.
Yeah.
And Greg figured that out. The guy figured it out at one point and tried to make the best of it by incorporating all the countries, most athletes ever, most diverse field, if you will. And then he gets boned for just that. And that's the reason that, so that's why I stopped owning an affiliate, because it put this giant stake. And it was like, didn't you see that these athletes are out? Didn't you see that all these companies dropped the games? Like, are we going to de-affiliate? And I go, no, we're not going to de-affiliate, because the reason we are an affiliate is because of the dude. So shush.
So then when he quit, you did de-affiliate?
No. No, people.
So what was the?
I go, that's a stupid question.
No, but when he did sell, is that when you de-affiliated? When he did sell,
never
like when you sold your gym.
When he sold, I was probably only a year left over there.
Okay, and was that like a straw that broke the camel's back thing?
It's kind of like irreparable damage. Because as much as I loved the place, I loved what it was before I realized how ugly it could be. Within like that newfound, these people I liked so much, they think it's more important that I say certain things that I thought I was a fitness facility.
Yeah, it's like when
all I cared about was fitness. It's still all I care about.
It's like when someone lies to you or takes a shit on you or something, like metaphorically, takes a shit on you or lies to you or something, and then
or piss on you.
Actually. Yeah, like things are good, but they're never the same as you always look at them with that, like, are they being genuine? Or whereas before you never doubted anything that they were saying. You just were like, yeah, they're cool. Then something happens, and forever and always after that, no matter how much you regain trust in them, you'll always have that thing of, what are they thinking? Like, you just don't trust them fully. So you had that with your members where even though things got better, you were still like, yeah, but there was that time where they all turned and said, you need to do this, you need to do that.
I don't think that there's one affiliate owner out there that won't resonate with the fact that you're not making money hand over fist. And I was one of the few affiliates that I'd been in that ran the heat or the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Depending on if it was 100 degrees out, the AC goes on. If it was under 50, I'd turn the heat on so that it was sitting at a workoutable temperature so people wouldn't roll in wearing sweatshirts. And if you have to do that, I get that too. But during this entire thing, and I guess COVID was a second coming of this, it was just the Greg thing opened the doors for people to be more vocal about certain topics. And then COVID came. And during COVID, I remember like the same members who kind of put that stain we were just talking about into your head about certain topics. I'm like, no, we are a fitness facility. I want all of you guys to have the best workout possible. I'll never forget this. First of all, this story has a lot to it, and I can make an entire video about it. And the way that I make it, it could be an hour long. It's wicked. It's like the last 3 days of myself as an affiliate owner, to the point in time where I went to my business partner's second job and I go, hey, dude, I got to get out of here. But on like that Friday, which led to it, I run all the classes all day. And I remember at 5:30 p.m. where it was starting to get kind of cold and the heat was on, had a member go, hey, we got to open this door because COVID and we got to circulate the air. And I'm just thinking like, no, because I run the heat. It's going to be expensive to open that door. And it's always been, it's been this way since I've been an owner for like 5-6 years at this point. We're going to keep the door shut. But Andrew, I heard it was open at noon. You let them open it at noon. And I'm like, the sun was up at noon. The sun was up at noon. That's why it was open. And then that was just kind of that example right there was from someone who was very openly saying I needed to make a statement about what Greg did. And there's just a handful of them.
But even the optics of that are that those people were talking about you then behind your back. If it was like, well, you had it open at noon. So that means that someone in the noon class texted and said, he opened the doors today. Like, and that eats away at you a bit as well.
Mm-hmm. And I go, well, yeah, look at this. Open the door to circulate the air for the common cold. And then you let more cold air in with people who are sweating and they're all going to get sick. Like common sense. Like you put a hat on when you're sweaty so you don't get all cold.
Well, I don't think temperature makes you sick. If you get cold,
like, it's like you've never heard that. You've never heard that.
I've heard it, but it's bullshit.
You get sick from
It's like, oh, you go to bed with wet. You go to bed with wet hair. You get a creak in your neck. Like, no, you don't. You just slept bad.
Yeah, I believe an old wives' tale more than I believe opening that door was going to help you not get COVID. Like, just stay at home.
Stop. It is hard though. I think once someone loses your trust, it can be kind of hard to get it back. I think, like if someone does something.
I've always loved this picture of this dude's back.
That's cool. Kind of looks if his arms weren't as big, he kind of looks like Christian Bale and the Machinist.
His whole body's big though, and that Christmas tree is awesome. And he has a great farmer's tan. All right, less about the body, more about the words to the right of it, huh?
Yeah, but I was just talking about trust. That was kind of difficult to get it back. What about?
It was annoying, by the way.
Which?
The words next to the body.
Yeah. So there's people watching. So I'll just like.
Well, no, people are commenting about it too.
No, there's people who won't be watching who'll be listening back. Be like, what fucking words? Christian commented and said, "Can we talk about Brian Friend just stomping on everyone's dick on last night's podcast?" And there's lots of other back and forth about people saying which podcast and what are you talking about and whatever. I'm a Ben. It fucking is a wise tale. Temperature does not make you sick. Like the cold is a virus.
Yeah, concur.
It's not like a breeze. It's like you're like that's no. You'll be sick if you don't wear a hat. Is because your parents wanted you to wear a fucking hat when you went outside, so you didn't get cold ears and start crying.
Hey, anyway, thanks for doing that for me.
Sorry, there There was another one. Sorry, the body is not effective at fighting a virus when cold air enters the nose and upper airways. So viruses such as common cold, flu, and COVID-19 often spread more easily in winter. Is it not just that is it not something to do with the temperature lets the virus survive or not survive? So like, if it goes above a certain temperature or below a certain temperature, the virus like freezes or like dissipates or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway,
I think this is above our pay grade.
Yeah.
Let's go back to talking about burpees.
Yeah, good idea.
Hey, that was a joke. I don't really mind talking about it though.
No, I don't know enough about it, to be honest.
If I were to guess, it's like you put a piece of meat in the fridge because if you leave it on the counter, bacteria gets to it quicker. But it's also not a virus. That's a bacteria. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but actually is one of them is a bacteria and one of them is a virus. The flu is a virus and cold is a bacteria. That's it, isn't it? Or the other way around?
I'm pretty sure COVID's a virus and the flu is a bacteria.
And then the cold is a virus.
Or the flu, they're both viruses.
No, one of them is one.
One
of them is one and one of them is the other. I'm pretty sure. Oh, fuck. This has gone off the rails so much.
Virus. People in the... Yes. Yes, it's a virus. COVID's a virus.
The cold, common cold?
A virus. Yes, they're both viruses.
Did you look up the cold? Common cold.
The cold is probably bacteria.
That's what I mean. I think one of them is one and one of them is the other.
The cold is a flu, dude. Which one's a bacteria? Like herpes. That's a bacteria.
The clap?
Flu is a virus. I'm looking at the comment sections now because they always know. There you go, JR, both viral. There you go. That's what I thought.
Where did JR say that?
Somewhere. But JR's a nurse.
Both viral. I'll take his word. He also said earlier on he calls me Peter, not Pedro. How do I get the little CPW sign? Jonathan Ortega, you have to be a member. Backed by a friend. I think kind of part of me wants to just leave that. I will say I toyed at starting the show by saying I want to start off by saying what I'm not. And then I chickened out.
I never took you as a chicken.
No, I was just like I'm kind of torn on it because part of me wants to give the benefit of the doubt and be like, didn't mean it to sound the way that it sounded, and it was just a mistake. And then part of me thinks like, but how do you like systematically shit on everyone accidentally? Like, it's just the word choices were annoying. Like, to say that barbell spin is surface level and fast, like, that's a backhanded compliment. Why not just give a compliment and say, if you want really fast and reliable news, go to barbell spin. That's a compliment. Like, that's how you compliment something and encourage people to go there.
You're probably right with that, by the way.
I think it was accidental.
Because if this is written, it's taken completely differently than the way that it was said. And it didn't help that Clark's in the background, like, he's just like, God, shut up. That didn't sound good.
But like, I just think you say, if you want really fast, reliable news, go to barbell spin. That's all you. That's a compliment and a push toward. That's like lifting barbell spin up along with yourself. Or if you say, if you want to hear really good athlete interviews and like a broad range of topics and some questionable call-in shows, you should go and listen to the Savan podcast. But like, that wasn't said either. It was just like, we're not the Savan podcast. We're not these programming podcasts. There's loads of those around.
As if it was a superior entity.
That's the thing, yeah.
These other entities.
And we're not.
That's the tonnage.
We're not these programming podcasts. There's heaps of. There's fucking two.
Get with
the programming and shut up and scribble.
Right.
There's two of them. And I just that was what annoyed me.
And then I think it started with something along the lines of, there's been a lot of content recently, and it's been kind of muddied, and then that might be paraphrasing, but I think it's good. The more stuff that's out there, the better.
The more, the better. Yeah.
I reached out to someone the other day, and I go, "Hey, dude, where you been?" Just because I don't like it when people go away. I like watching their stuff. If at the minimum, just it'll help me as I analyze it. Like I did Hepner's video. I go, "Ooh, I lost my attention there." Don't do that. I know better now. Thanks, Jacob.
Asymmetric Years says, next fake news is coming in hot. That was actually the topic of last night's fake news. Pedro get off this podcast and work on it. I made the mistake one week of making 2 fake newses in a week, and then I struggled so much for content the next week that I'm never doing it again.
So Sevon said to make another one, you're not going to.
Unless something happens, like unless something major happens. Like the reason I made that second one that week was because I was like, this is time sensitive because it won't be being talked about anymore. And people would be like, why the fuck is he bringing this up? That was a week ago. So I made 2 in a week. It was a week of roll.
I'm the opinion guy, 100%. That's what I heard. We don't give opinions based upon whatever the hell you think. We give substantiated evidence when we give when you give your what, Brian? Your opinions? You give a whole bunch of evidence for your opinions?
If you're ranking people 1 to 200,
it's a fucking science project.
If you're ranking people 1 to 200
in our stats division, and now our opinion is the gold standard because it didn't come out right away. And because we did a whole bunch of shit that took us forever, which is why we didn't get it out on time. It sounded like it was fucking annoying.
But if you're ranking people 1 to 200, that's surely opinion.
An opinion, yes.
Which is fine. But it is just your opinion. That's why you have John on the show that's why you have
list.
Yeah, that's why you have John on your show to counter your opinion, to give a balance, to give like an argument, or to allow you to explain your opinion to somebody who doesn't agree with your opinion. But it's an opinion. Because there is no definitive list of 200. It's an opinion. It's a well thought out opinion, but it's an opinion.
It's an extremely well thought out opinion. But you can't say that we are not an opinion show when it is an opinion show.
I took it as Brian saying his site or YouTube is which. I took it as Brian saying what his site or YouTube is, which is a competitor. But he never said what it was. He just said what it wasn't.
I really
repeatedly.
Like that
it's a very good picture. There's another good one he has. I think it's on his YouTube or something where he's or his Instagram where he has a camera. That's another good picture. But
that's all he had to do, right? That's all he had to do is say what he is.
Yeah,
hey guys, I had a lot of questions. A lot of people aren't really sure who we are.
But he could have said. But he could have said what he said in a different way. He could have said, if you're coming to this station looking for really insightful interviews, go to Savan because they will be more regularly there. We will have some, but he has more. If you're coming to our website looking for like quick news, we won't have that, but you should go to Barbell Spin to get that. If you're coming to our website looking for what the fuck do you call it? Community stuff. That's what he said Chalk Up were good at. If you're coming to this website to look for community news, sometimes we will have some of that, but you are better off if you consistently want that to go to Morning Chalk Up. That's how you phrase what he, I think, intended to say in a way that's complimentary, not even complimentary, just like affable towards everyone else, as opposed to saying, we are not this because they only do this. We are not that because they only do this. We are not that, and we're not this, and we're not that. Now, please go and sign up on Patreon because it's not going as well as I'd hoped. Like, that's essentially what the message was.
Who are you?
Who am what? Who am I?
Yeah.
A poor man, Sevan.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's fucking accurate.
Now, who is he then?
He's an analyst.
Sevan.
Oh, sorry, Sevan. He is someone who can get people to show sides of themselves that they either rarely or never show.
I'm glad that I got you to say who you are.
Why?
Because you're just the poor version of that.
Yeah. I'm not like really poor. Well, I'm just like poorer. I'm a less he's had 30 years on me. So
right. Give him some time.
20 years. But like Brian is an analyst. He's a fantastic analyst. He's a brilliant analyst. He's a really good writer. He's good for the sport. He cares about the sport. He really cares about the athletes. He really cares about the competitions. He wants the competitions to do well. He wants himself to do well, which is fine. I have no problem with that. He wants to be a respected name in the space. I think he is. I think the issue is that CrossFit is not like the NFL where analysts are going to have a fucking bed of money to go on this show and that show and the other show. And it just doesn't work like that. And I think you have to just accept that that's the way it is while trying to improve it and trying to make it a little bit better and forge your own path, or maybe forge a path for others that are coming behind you. You still have to accept that there are limitations on what's available, that it's a limited resource. Because if you have like if someone's sponsored by GoWad and then I go to GoWad are like, oh, fucking hell, like we've already got money going out to this person and this person and this person, and we're already sponsoring this show. Why do we want to sponsor that show? We're already sponsoring this event. Why do we want to sponsor that event? Like, there's only so many companies. So like, and it's the same for viewers and watchers and people with Patreons and people with buying t-shirts and people with buying merchandise. People only have so much bandwidth and so much money in their account. So if you're constantly appealing to the same small pool of people saying, I need this support, I need this support, I need this support, like they can only support so much stuff or else you're fucking bankrupted everyone. So you just have to accept that there are limitations on what's possible while trying to improve it for you and other people. But I think the way to do that, to make those improvements, is not to say, without saying it, not to allude to the fact that you are better than other people at what you are doing that they're not even really trying to do, I think.
And then wonder why the Patreon isn't doing as well as it was hoped to have been doing. You know how hard it is to get 1,000 people to sign up for something?
Man, when he said that, I was like, are you fucking nuts that you thought 1,000 people were going to sign up? No matter how popular you are, 1,000 people.
You've seen Mean Girls, right?
Yeah.
You know in Mean Girls where they go, this is social suicide?
Yeah.
That's like probably the best way to put it. I go, no, Brian, no.
Like, even just as an example, I've had, you can see when you put a link in your thing, you can see how many people have clicked the link. Like, you can swipe up or whatever and see your analytics and it shows you. So I've put up and I was just out of curiosity for myself, when I shared like the pre-sale for the t-shirts or the tops, the sweatshirts or whatever, I'd be like, right, 1,000 people saw that story. And then before I'd swipe up, I'd be like, I wonder how many people out of that 1,000 clicked the link, because I knew how many sales had been made since that link went up, because I can just easily get an email. So say there was 5 sales, right?
Yeah,
1,000 people saw it. How many people do you think clicked the link if there was 5 sales out of 1,000 people who saw the post or the story?
You're asking me?
Yeah, how many do you think would have clicked, like opened the link?
50.
127.
Oh, dude. So you're talking fractions of a penny.
So 127 people.
You took it out of the jar? No, the tray. Never mind. Sorry.
1,000 people saw it, saw the possible opportunity. 127 people took closer inspection of the opportunity, and only 5 people pounced on the opportunity. Now, granted, it's more than a Patreon subscription. It's more than $3 or whatever. But that shows you the turnover rate is so low because of all those reasons that I'm saying, because the market is saturated and it's a small market. Like, you have a small pool of people. If you got everyone in one place, it's a fucking shit ton of people. If you had all your subscribers, all mine, all Spins, all Savans, like if you put them in one room, it's going to look insane. Like, it'll look like a lot of people. But in comparison to the globe, it's not a lot of people. And then you have other companies that are also trying, like you have like Vindicate and Paper Street Coffee, and like these companies need to be supported and need to make money. And then you have people that are torn between, well, shit, am I going to buy this thing off Travis, or am I going to wait till next week because I saw Hiller say something, and then that will be through Travis anyway. So
people really do that.
I do that.
They just sit there and they're thinking, I only got $30 this month.
That's what I do.
Oh,
so I was like,
you think maybe you're projecting,
but I don't think it's uncommon that I do that.
I think it might be.
I don't think people have as much disposable income as maybe you think they do, that they're just like, fuck it, I'll buy that thing. Fuck it, I'll buy that thing.
More people have more disposable income than you think they do.
Well, more people probably have more disposable income than I do.
I think maybe you've got some disposable income, but I think that you're pigeonholing some stuff.
Maybe I am. Maybe
the way that I always look at it is, it's like, hey, if they want to buy it, they will. If they don't, they don't. And if they're in your position, just make it undeniable. Nah, we broke. Sorry, Alyssa. What the?
But
fuck
yeah, like,
I hope that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I think he's insulting you because you're not agreeing with me. Budgeting, yeah, like I mean, the issue So
I
like,
think there's all types of people, but you just said it. There's a lot of people.
yeah, there is. There
I
definitely
always
is
said
people,
there's 8 billion people.
but
And
there
let's
is
just say
people.
that there's
There's people who
100,000
don't. There's people who don't buy anything. Spends his disposable income on VAT. There's people who don't buy anything. There's people like who never buy anything, and there's people who always buy something. Who like every time.
Look at this thing from Hasnick. Haschick.
Look at that. Dink is double income, no kids.
Oh,
I have.
that is a bad thing.
I have whatever the opposite of that is. No
Oh,
income,
no,
kids.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's saying that you don't have income. You have double income and you have no kids to spend it on. So you.
Dude, I like that. I'd never heard that.
Yeah, it does sound like a big
almost like
insult
guilt.
though.
So, it's also a move in pickleball, a dink.
Yeah. But anyway, you'll have people who, whatever Travis will put up, will go and buy something. The same people will always go back and buy something because they like him and like his company and like Savan and like you and whatever else. You'll have people who, every time Travis puts up something, will never buy anything because they don't like Savan and they don't like you and they don't like him as an associate. Do you know what I mean? Then you'll have people who never buy anything despite the fact that they like you and Savan and Travis. They just don't do that. They just don't spend money on that stuff. And then you'll have people like me who will look at something and say, no, I can't afford that.
Yeah, I heard about someone the other day who said that they won't buy anything if it isn't on sale. And I go, anything? And they said, yeah, anything.
They're never going to own it.
So you go to Chipotle once a year? You go to Chipotle when it's like wear a costume to Chipotle day? You get your fucking buy one, get one free burrito? Yeah, that's the only time I'll go. Like, Jesus, what a way to live. Walk around the grocery store looking for yellow tags. It's like, well, I usually get bread, but not this week. There's no bread on sale.
But I can get 4 Swedes.
And that's why I go to Costco, because the whole fucking place is on sale.
Yeah, I've never been to a Costco.
Hey, next time you're here, that's where we're going.
Deal. Are you going to Wodapalooza?
You're going to shit yourself and die at how awesome it is.
Are you going to Wodapalooza?
Likely, but I don't have a plan at the moment. That doesn't mean I won't be there. I usually don't have a plan to do anything. I actually put this in my calendar. This wow. And I put it at the wrong time. So I was driving somewhere that was 40 minutes away. And then I looked at my phone. I go, shit, it's in an hour. I got to turn back.
Oh, shit.
I can do this later. but I'm very much like a spur of the moment person.
Yeah.
You know what Friendsgiving is?
It's like Thanksgiving, but you do it with your friends.
Yes. And you just have people.
You skipped that for this?
No.
Oh. Someone
asked me, or like my group of friends asked weeks ago to set up Friendsgiving. And I go, guys, I can't fucking commit. Like, I don't know. But there's I'd say I'd like to be there, and I'll be there if I can. But I'm like a 2-day planner. What are you doing 2 days from now? Well, I don't know. And then I drop stuff off pretty quick too.
I'm the total opposite.
You plan everything?
I have to plan everything because I have kids and shit. You're
not a dink.
No, I have to plan everything, and the only thing I don't plan is if Savan is like, do you want to come on the show? I'll be like, yeah, cool. Like, I'll do that with like 10 minutes notice. But other things I need to plan.
You're in the middle of watching the kid, and you're just like, I believe in you.
Just like dunk.
Just make sure it's like just enough so they can peek their head out. I'm like, oh, you're good in there.
Yeah. Just lie down. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, that's funny. No, I definitely
you gotta drop that, you gangster.
And then you'll have people like Hitler who go buy stuff from.
Yeah. Pull out your Hustle Made gear.
Imagine my annoyance after buying this when I see him in fucking Vegas on the front row of the Formula One.
Yeah, I would say one of Sevan's favorite phrases is brand diminishing. That was a brand diminishing trip. If you ask me.
I didn't click that. Did you click that? Can you click that?
I can't click shit. You try to click on Vindicate's comment.
Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah. All right. What does
Hitler made?
Where do you go from here? So where do you go from here? You started off with no rep videos. That was your thing. That was your shtick of like, that was where you made your major hay, was in the field of no reps. God, that analogy turned out really well. I didn't know where I was going with it. Then Then you moved into problem
You're welcome.
identification, and possible solutions for those problems. That was one of my misconceptions that I thought people have of you, is that all he does is point out problems. He's so negative. He never says, it's like, well, if you actually watch the video, he actually kind of does say
They don't make it to the end. They don't.
No. So you have that, you kind of moved into that then, and then this kind of identification of disingenuous behavior came alongside that. Like
What was that last one? Sorry, I was reading a comment.
Identification of disingenuous behavior came alongside your identification of problems within the. So I see you as just kind of two like trains running parallel. I almost did a fucking thumbs up there, and I would have got double bubbles. There's oh no, they're fireworks. There's kind of two tracks running parallel. One of your tracks is
hey, helping. He also highlighted people that were pointing out solutions like me. You're welcome, helping.
So you have this track of like HQ and like what's going on with, actually it's probably three tracks. You have HQ, what's going on with HQ, why is it happening, what does it mean, what could happen, what should happen, etc. Then you have a second track that's the disingenuous behavior. I feel like that's more impulse based a lot of the time, where you'll see something and be like, fuck,
dude, everything's impulse based, by the way.
Yeah, but I feel like that's maybe more impulse based, where you'll see something on Instagram, you'll pull on your cowl and go down to the back cave and start making something.
Sure.
Then there's another track alongside that one, which is, and it's more infrequent, but the steroids PED track. And I feel like that's more infrequent because it has to be less impulsive, because you have to watch and wait and look for, like, it's hard to get proof, obviously, like concrete proof, but you can look for things, markers, common markers, and hypothesis that you can make off of those common markers. Like, you're never going to get like a failed drug test into your lap, or you're never going to get like a photograph of someone, oh shit, I left that needle in my butt or whatever. But you will get like the TIA video, where you're looking at things and saying, well, this plus this plus this plus this, 2 + 2 is 4, this plus this plus this is probably PEDs. So you can have those kind of hypotheses where it's like, in my educated opinion,
I came up, and this is going to be a killer system. I think I woke up, I was sitting down the toilet, I was going through everything from the night before, because people like you send stuff in the middle of the night, and it hit me that I need to come up with a point system, the natty or not point system.
Also, if someone's a 90, they're more than likely on.
Oh, it's just like a plus or minus, like a checks and balances starting at 0, and I'll have it all written out. So I'll make a video, and it's no longer going to be up to me whether or not the person's natural.
So it's like what was the video? The Danny Spiegel on kettlebells and cocktails one, the +1, -1, +1. Yeah. And then you're not saying one way or another.
23. Yeah.
You're just pointing out all the information, and then you're just leaving it at, it's on 3 or it's on 0 or whatever.
Right.
I just did 5, but you know what I mean?
Like,
I panicked thinking it was going to be a thumbs up.
You look at your training circle. So you're someone's of suspicion. You look at them, and then you look at the people that they work out with. Are they all also suspicious? +1.
Yeah.
Or -1. I don't really know which way I want that to go yet. It's like, you look like this at the age of 20, and you look at this at the age of 35. Like, okay, but what'd you look like at 30? Oh, you looked like shit at 30. You're not just going to come out of nowhere.
It has to be negative if you're not on, because you test positive for a drug. So it has to be, you have to do it negative.
Thank you. I like that. Yeah. That'll work. Yeah.
Is there anyone that you wouldn't touch? Like, is there anybody, have you got opinions? So like, say you've done a video on.
It depends on how good they are in my opinion, for CrossFit. If I know where you're going with that.
So say like Travis Mayer, you wouldn't touch him.
Oh, he's natural.
But hypothetically, if you had a doubt about him, you wouldn't touch him because he owns an affiliate. He really cares about the community. He works hard
for
the
spectrum of people that I would leave alone.
Okay. Interesting.
It'd be like, I'm not going to fuck up a family member unless they're digging their own grave. And I'd actually hope that they'd see it and stop it. Cut it out. Quit doing heroin.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, you're a thief? All right, that's a ticking time bomb. You're going to jail. I'm going to make a video on you. It's not
Is
going to
there
be about the fact that you're a thief. It's going to be about the fact that you're a piece of shit. Not,
Is
and by the way, I said that, and that doesn't mean that I've made nanny or not some people who are all pieces of shit. It's just like I think I
Well,
made
some of
one
them are
on-
because of
one on
the
Haley Adams. I don't think that they're that. I just thought those people are natural.
yeah
I could retroactively make a plus or minus on them too. That might
yeah
be
that'd be
good.
good. You could just do the leaderboard. Do John's Mountain or Brian Friend's top 200 and just start at the bottom and work your way up.
I was going to
Take
do a video.
long time.
I was going to do the top 10 most likely natural athletes at the 2023 CrossFit Games. The top 10.
So you'd be
most
leaving
likely
out.
to-
So people would be like, "Wait, why is like Mal not on this list?" Yeah. I like it.
Hey, I got
you
to
could
let
have
that
it.
dog out real quick.
You could have a tip of the needle of who's going to be at the top.
Not sure if you could hear that dude squeaking, but he wanted out.
No, I couldn't. You could have it as the tip of the needle instead of like
Oh,
the tip of the
dude.
spear. Yeah.
It'd be a
Oh,
long.
then it would have to be the unnatural ones that you're doing that on though.
And that would be the bottom 10 question mark.
The bottom 10, yeah.
Who
They
gave
give
you
you
money?
access.
Oh, Kevin McLean.
Oh,
Yeah,
Peter's
dude.
a
I
legend.
was actually somewhat offended by your video because you go, I reached out to all these people and I was just trying to get in touch with them, all these people in the space. And I go to my Instagram messages and I have no message from Kevin. I'm like,
oh, maybe it's your old account though.
maybe it was my old account, right?
Yeah.
I think that him and I had chatted on that old account though, so I had thought of that. Yeah,
He sounds Irish.
he is, dude.
Jesus, he messaged me.
Yeah, he works out in some. He said some doom and gloomy wet basement gym. How big is Ireland?
He did message me. How's things? Hope you enjoyed the games. Any chance you could repost this to your story? Have a YouTube channel? Fuck, sorry, Kevin.
Shut the fuck up, really.
Yeah,
Repost
we
that,
sent
man.
we sent it to me again, Kevin. Sorry, I obviously saw that, and then I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
making a video a day.
I'm actually really generally really good at Instagram messages and stuff. Send me that again, Kevin. Sorry.
Hey, and if you ask me if I had to choose between Hepner's video and Kevin McLean's video, I choose McLean's video. They're a
So
little
he's
bit more nuanced and he talks a little bit more. It's not just 25 minutes of straight up burpees.
What kind of accent does he have?
Yours.
Nobody has my accent. Does he have a northern accent?
Fuck if I know. What the hell's the difference?
Oh, fuck's sake. Can I do a northern accent?
Is it
I'm trying to think, will I be able to verbalize it? Because
that
when I
like
talk to
somebody
Americans, I use my
over here?
own accent.
There's a twang in it.
It's
an
like the
Irish
difference.
twang.
It's like the difference between a New York accent and a Texas accent.
Which one are you?
We have the
You
same.
Southern?
Yeah, he has a northern accent. He's from Donegal. Send me that again, Kevin. Sorry, I didn't see your. Well, I did see your message, but I was just forgot about it.
Is he near you?
No, I mean, by your metrics of travel, yes, he's incredibly close to me. But the fact that we're in Ireland, he's really far away.
How big
Buncrana,
is Ireland?
it's like smaller than Florida, or about the same
Ireland's
size as Florida.
smaller than Florida?
I think it's about the same size as Florida.
Dude,
I
you
think.
can drive from north to south in like an hour and a half. No, sorry, it's more like 3
Oh,
hours. Florida.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
Dude. Go see Kevin. Bring your Sony ZV-1.
I'm buying a new camera.
Which one?
The one you told me to buy, the A6 700.
6700. Cool. When?
I'm kind of waiting until Friday to see if anyone goes. I don't want to buy it and then be like, fuck, why didn't I wait a week? So I'm just gonna I'll probably wait till Tuesday, till after Cyber Monday is over, in case someone does something.
Oh, Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Thing is, I think it's kind of a brand new camera.
I don't think it's that new. Some places don't have it. It's sold out in some places.
It's
My issue is
in
trying.
the last 4 months, I think. It's pretty new.
Oh, my issue is trying to get lenses. That's my main problem.
Rosie likes it. Rosie View Photography. Isn't it always weird when people who are camera people just come out of the woodwork? Oh, they're talking about cameras.
Yeah, they're really good though. I messaged.
Rosie.
I messaged Carlos Bown, and I messaged. There's a guy in the UK, Made by Johnny is his username. He like does Sid and those kind of events. And I was just like, hey, what camera would you get if you were me? This is what I wanted for. This is what I didn't say it was you because I didn't want anyone to be influenced by like, oh yeah, just do, or oh no, don't do, that's stupid, whatever. So I just said someone told me to get the Sony A6700 or A6700, whatever. And both Bound and Johnny sent me back like 50 messages. Like, well, you should think about this, and then have you thought about this one? And then if you get this one, you can get this lens. And I was like, oh, this is overwhelming. I was like, I just wanted a yes to confirm what I was told by somebody else.
Well, let me ask this: was there a world where they said it was the right answer?
But they were both like, yeah, like can't go wrong. Like for what you wanted for it, it's perfect. And then Johnny was like, oh, you should get this lens and this lens. And you can get this one for like shooting someone across the floor, and you can get this one for popping it on a stool beside you and not having to move it like 100 meters back from where you're sitting. It's like a wide lens, basically.
So I'm doing this on the A7 IV, and if I had to guess, that's probably the other camera body that I told you to get.
You only told me to get that one.
No, them. If they would have recommended another camera body, it's probably the A7 IV.
Yeah, I can't remember. To be honest, I'm not going to look for the message. I can't remember, but it sounds right. The thing he was saying to get Sony because you can use Sigma lenses, and it's better than trying to. Or there's 3 different types of lenses you can use. You can use like Sony Tamarin or something, and then Sigma, and they'll all interchangeable.
Nice.
It's fine. Great. That's a resounding endorsement, Ortega. It's fine.
Fine isn't great.
2024, right? So sorry, getting back to those little tracks that you're doing, those different tracks. Will one of those tracks like stop? Like, are you going to focus more on CrossFit, like the business, the company? Are you going to focus more on like the sport? Are you kind of getting bored of the sport now? Like you said a couple of things. So you said like the game should be gone, and you've said a couple of things like privately of like, oh, competitions are kind of boring sometimes and stuff. Like, are you getting kind of
private messages now?
Are you getting kind of sick of the sports side?
No, absolutely not. No. Look at that. When I say it's like I got hit with one of those dog buzzers. I don't use filler words.
Yeah.
So there's another one.
Great question. That's another one that Americans always use. Oh, that's a great question. And you're thinking, no, it fucking wasn't.
Yeah, I'd rather just pause. But
it was a hard question.
That was a great question because it's making me sit here for a minute.
Yeah.
The part of the CrossFit Games portion of it that gets kind of boring to me is, and I actually had this conversation with Alexis this morning, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making videos on it, such as the one like Tia should have won Rogue. Yeah. Which to this day, I still think that Tia should have won Rogue. If you want to know why, go watch the freaking video. Because I point some things out. But she was a rock climber. And I go, yeah, and Tia's still better at this shit. Anyway, you have a competition for the fittest on earth, right? And people have this ideal of what that looks like. You got to have this number of CrossFit workouts, rounds for time, AMRAPs, 21-15-9s. And then if you direct, like skew from that, it's got to be long and it's got to be heavy, or it's got to be heavy and it's got to be skilled. But it all kind of funnels into that one middle thing where it's deadlifts and handstand push-ups. And if you have deadlifts and handstand push-ups and thrusters and pull-ups, and you make the weights kind of fittable for the athletes at that event, whether it be the CrossFit Games or a local event, at the end of the day, the people who win are going to win everything because it's made for the fittest on earth. And like I watch a lot of the program shows like Chase's and Bill's, and you're watching it and everything they're saying is spot on, and everything's made for the fittest on earth. And if you look at a competition and they're kind of pulling from the competition that was the fittest on earth, whether it be this year or the year before it, there's nothing new. You've seen it. You've seen the same athletes do it all the time. And they're all being programmed to fit one model closely. So there's never any surprises. And that's the part of it that's boring to me. Like the most exciting thing of the games this year was Justin finishing in 11th. That's the most exciting thing, because then you can ask why. And then the most exciting thing about this year are going to be, is he going to win again? And how did he do it?
Yeah.
And so people are all like flustered about the fact that I made a video about Justin, or that I point out the fact that he says the word like too much. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's the most exciting thing in the sport right now. You're out of your fucking mind. Do you follow that?
Yeah, but it's a I'm trying to think of the right word. Indictment? Is that the right word? On the sport? Like, it's a body slam on the sport to say the most exciting thing about the sport is that a guy finished 11th. Do you know what I mean?
Because other than that, that's why the same people have won every year, and that's why the top 10 is rather similar. And the only people who really randomly make a name for themselves are the PED users who came out of like a Ricky Garard's. Like, where the fuck did this guy come from? But he coincidentally was also a younger athlete. So you see younger athletes coming up, and I just filled out the spin poll, and I like to grasp at straws. I hope things happen. Like Kerstetter, she's young, she's really good, and is this the year where she makes a giant leap? And those are the only people who will be doing things where you don't really know. And that's the fun of the sport. And sure, it's an indictment on it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's another reason why it should just, I don't know.
Does it interest you when people are talking about stuff like the Triple Crown and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely not. Does it interest you? What's interesting about it?
It interests me only because
he's speaking my language. It interests you why?
It's like the movie Rocky or Creed. The excitement of seeing someone do well, lose, and then build back. The excitement isn't a 7-time champ. I mean, it's quite remarkable watching a 7-time champ, though. Have you
ever seen a movie on that?
A movie on what?
It's called The Avengers. You know that they're not going to lose, and then eventually everyone goes, "These movies fucking suck," because you know that they're never going to lose. And it's actually what was most fun about the Game of Thrones series.
And Endgame. What was the one before Endgame? Infinity War or Endgame? Which one came first?
Where they all melt.
Yeah, that was exciting.
But then they all come back, and that was inevitable, as Thanos would have said.
Yeah, he would have said that. Did say that. I think the Triple Crown thing is interesting because it's something to talk about. But again, that's kind of an indictment that, like I said it the other day, that like Castro's videos create more or have more spawn off content than fucking games does. And that's an indictment.
That's an indictment. Right. You did say that.
I fucking hope that's the right
private messages.
Well, that was my private message. I hope that that's the right word, indictment. But it's like, that's bad. That there's so much content being made out of his videos. It's good. Like, it's good that the videos are being made and it's good that people are talking about them and stuff, but it's bad that that's the most valuable resource we have. It's like a weekly video.
You want to know what the Triple Crown is? Mm-hmm. The Triple Crown is me walking out of the street corner where cars pass every single day. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go, all right, I'm going to leave when I see 5 of the same cars pass by. And that's going to be the winner. And then more often than not, it'll probably be a Toyota. Like, probably a Toyota Camry. Very popular car over here. Mm-hmm. Everyone got one as they never die. That's what the Triple Crown is to me. You're putting a title on something that's already always been there. And we could have done it at any point in time. Yeah. And I don't see any excitement in like watching the same cars drive by and just saying, hey, now there's a champion. It's the most popular car on Ogden Avenue in Downers Grove. It's not exciting to me.
It would be interesting if they added in
a fucking ramp out there. Everyone's gonna go watch that. Everyone's gonna go
like a log swinging back and forth or something.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I think that was a great analogy.
Yeah, it was. I think as well if they didn't use those 3, if they said like, okay, if you win,
you will.
If they threw in a random one like the French Throwdown, which like historically games athletes who are at the very top level don't go and do. If they threw in one of those kind of ones, or if they threw in like, because the athletes that go to the games and do well at the games also go to Rogue and do well at Rogue, and then big large pool of that athletes also go to Wodapalooza and do Wodapalooza. Whereas like,
I think that was kind of the point though, right? Because he wanted to take 20 from the games.
I know, but if you want to make it interesting, then you add like, say like, all right, these guys all go to Wodapalooza. Well, fuck it, let's make them go to France. we're global. It's like, right, well, why don't you just
Mhm.
include French Throwdown, and then they have to go there if they want to do the Triple Crown? Then that has a huge boost for that competition. Do you know what I mean? It's like hand-picking sanctionals.
You know what? All this stuff said, this requires so much work, and it requires them to actually have their ducks in a row, which clearly they don't. Because if you keep on saying, we're going to do this, oh, we're actually doing this, but now we're doing this, no one knows what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
There's no direction. They have no thought. I mean, I'm surprised as fuck that they still have the strength of
Worldwide ranking
field,
thing.
the strength
Yeah.
of field stuff. I can't believe that they still have that. I thought that'd be gone after 1 year. And it wasn't, but that's what we've become accustomed to. And it's cool that it's still here because maybe they can build off of it. But instead of having that, and if you want to use these other competitions to do something, why don't you make that the qualifier for the games?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what everyone's always said. Like, if you finish in the top 100 in the Open, maybe you get a certain amount of points in there. And then if you go to Rogue, you get points. And then all of a sudden the athletes are thinking, hell, if I want to get to the CrossFit Games, we've shown that they can have over 200 athletes there, right? You can have as many fucking athletes as you want, but you've got to get these points from these events. So at this date in time, you can add up the Open, you can add up Rogue, Wodapalooza, French Throwdown, Dubai Fitness Challenge, Down Under Championship, and you basically get you'd say you get 10 points for first place.
Yeah.
And then if it like all the athletes who have accrued 50 or more points, you get a ticket to the games. And the simplest way to get 50 points is finish in the top 20 in the Open. Let's say you get 50 for 20th and then 60, 70, 80. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes it all fucking great. But it's something interesting and it's something new, and it's not just looking at cars in the road. That's a fucking ramp.
Yeah. I like Will is saying it should be reach or sacrifice to win the Triple Crown. Like, you got to travel around the world.
Yes.
It's going to be brutal. I like that
This
as
is
well.
what you said. Yeah. French Throwdown.
Yeah. Like, don't
Reach.
just have, there should be like, you go do Down Under Championships, Rogue, and
right.
you go do Down Under Championships, Rogue, and the French Throwdown. Because who the fuck is going to go to those three competitions? But like, if you want a Triple Crown, go and fucking do it. Like, earn it. Don't just go to the same competitions you always go to anyway.
Well, the thing is, do you put yourself in the shoes of one of these athletes and say, I want to win the Triple Crown?
I wouldn't be able.
I want to drive a Toyota Camry.
I wouldn't afford one. Yeah, no, I take your point. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess you have to make it. You have to make it appealing. So if you're doing like, okay, if you want the Triple Crown, you have to be a games qualifier. That's the minimum requirement. You have to qualify for the games. And if you qualify for the games, you can compete in the Triple Crown. And the Triple Crown is you have to like podium at the French Throwdown, Down Under Championships, and Rogue or Wodapalooza.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, but that's what they should do.
Yeah,
because you kind of like there's a Triple Crown. The Triple Crown in rugby. There's a Six Nations, so it's like Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, France, and Italy. And the Triple Crown is if you beat Ireland, if you're England and you beat Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, or you're Ireland and you beat England, Scotland, and Wales. But you don't get it for losing one of them and beating it just disappears. If you don't get it, it just disappears. Like if you don't win it, the prize no longer exists. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be able to get the Triple Crown by being like, well, Laura won Rogue and finished 10th in Wodapalooza and finished.
You should have to podium, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there should have to be.
Helpin keeps on nailing it. For the $0 they get, that title is about the same as the fittest mom.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You need to make it appealing. So you need to say, okay, if you podium at Rogue,
even if everything you're saying is true, what's the point?
What do you mean? What's the point?
Like, why would you want to win the Triple Crown?
For money.
Is there money involved?
No, I'm saying there should be money involved. So it should be.
Sevon said about having a host or sponsored by the Sevon podcast.
No, but there should be money. There is no mention of money, but it's just like it is just shit at the minute because it's like, oh, I'm the fittest teacher over the age of 35, and you know what I mean? It's just nonsense.
Hey, by all means, I thought that shit was awesome back when they did it.
Yeah, but it's not awesome for like Laura to be like, I'm the fittest rock climber and over the age of 25 and hungry. Like she wants to be the fittest on earth. But if you have the Triple Crown is you podium at these events and you get the reward from those events. So you win Rogue, you get whatever, $1 billion, whatever the fuck the prize will be by then. But Rogue,
$1 billion. Yeah, all that fucking Bitcoin money.
Rogue or whoever puts in an additional money into the Triple Crown, and the Triple Crown is $1 million. So you win the Triple Crown, you get $1 million. If you podium at those three events,
but they're not. There's no way, dude.
No, but they should. They should. That's my point. As in, no, I'm not saying that they should. That it's possible for them to do it. I'm not saying it's possible for them to do it. I'm saying you should not bring up the potential of a Triple Crown idea
with no
unless that's what your plan is going to be. Like you shouldn't bring up the Triple Crown and be like, we're going to do it, and it's going to be these three competitions that the athletes always go to anyway, and it's going to be based on points, we surmise. It's going to be based on points, and you don't even have to finish inside the top 5. You can finish fucking 10th in one of them. Who cares? Just turn up, pay your entry fee, or get your sponsor to pay your entry fee. Who gives a fuck? Like, don't mention it as a possible idea unless your plan is to fulfill it as like a big fuck-off showcase that's going to be really impressive, I think.
I 100% agree.
And if you don't win it, you don't win it. I
didn't see the point of it. He said it. I wasn't.
$1 million. Put up $1 million. But if nobody wins it, nobody gets $1 million.
Oh, I like that idea.
And then there's $1 million there for next year. You might only have to pay out the prize like once every 3 years.
What does that? There's something that does that. It's the same as those athlete pick'ems.
The lottery
does it? The exact top 10 athletes at the CrossFit Games, you win $100,000, and no one ever fucking is going to pick the top.
Yeah, it's like picking the minute of the first touchdown or whatever, and then it's like, oh shit, you were wrong. I'm gonna have to go to bed soon. This has had. I'm pretty sure this has had the most concurrent viewers of any show I've done. Like, as in, at one time, I think it's 189 at one point. I don't think I've had that many, which is like small fry, but.
The biggest reason I was pissed about my old Instagram getting brought down, because by all means I could give 3 fucks, but I really liked having the ability to put a story up and it would drive traffic to wherever the hell that was.
Yeah.
Because I would look, you know how you talk about link clicks? I had 40 something thousand followers on that account, and I put a story up and it would get 30,000 views.
Shit.
And then of those 30,000 views, depending on what the traffic was directed at, there were things that had like 2,000 to 3,000 link clicks. It was like fucking sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a lot of power.
So I'd say, hey, go watch Pedro's show. I put up a link click, and you'd see a spike in viewership.
You did that for when Savan was on.
Yeah, I thought that was. I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah,
probably the biggest reason I enjoyed doing that is because it was the goal of starting all of this. Is at some point I asked like who you are, which is one of my favorite anger management scenes with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicklaus. It's like, who are you? Tell us who you are. It's like, no, don't tell us who he is. Tell us who you are. It's like, hey, I'm the dude who wants to get as many views as possible so that I can just point it at shit. That's all I ever do.
Yeah.
What do? I do shit that gets views. You pointed out 3 streams to which I try to get views.
Would you ever like move away? Because I was actually thinking that was a question I wanted to ask you. Like, you have so say Nate does. Thanks, who?
Kenneth. He said he liked the dislike video test, which was the hell's her name? Fit. I haven't looked at her in a long time. She's the one who was reviewing the Tia Toomey video. And she kept on saying, like this video, guys. And I go, that's so fucking 2016. Everyone dislike this video right now. And it got like 1,000 dislikes on it.
Like Nate Edwardson.
Davis.
Nate Edwardson moved to golf and increased his reach like hugely. Vakey has started a golf channel. He's got loads of subscribers on that already.
Does he? How many?
I don't know, but I think it's quite a...
What's it called?
I don't know.
Shit. You said you're going to sleep, but not on my watch. This is what Sevan hates about me, is I won't let anyone leave.
Vix.
I found Nate Edwardson's golf channel. Oh, he's over 31,000. Good for you. But I was pretty happy that I still had more followers than he did for some time.
All that's coming up is the normal CrossFit page for
Wakey.
me. Pretty sure he does have a golf channel though.
Wakey Golf. What if I look up channels? I can't find it.
This is
Are you sure he doesn't just put it on his own? When's the last time Nate Edwardson put up a regular video?
he did loads like 2 weeks ago. Around Rogue. He did one every day at Rogue.
Yeah, they kind of pissed me off. Because it's the same as when CrossFit comes and makes the Tyson Bagent video the second he's about to start an NFL game.
Yeah. So Rogue is on and he says, "Oh fuck, I need to make some CrossFit content." But then he's like, "All right, Rogue is over. Bye bye," and then goes.
Gonna go back to golf.
And then he'll come back at Wodapalooza and make videos, and then he'll disappear again.
Kind of pissed me off. Like,
That-
fuck
I
you,
accept-
dude. We
yeah, I
keep this
accept
shit
that.
alive for you, and then you just come in and make a Daniel Brandon fucking
Yeah.
thumbnail. Get the fuck out of here.
We spend like days and weeks like stoking a fire, making sure it's okay. Then
Hank,
just
you
come in.
unfollowed me? How dare you? That's fine.
Yeah, would you ever be tempted to be like, because I know your thing is like, I need to get as many eyes as possible and then I can like achieve what I want to achieve. But then surely the best way for you to get as many eyes as possible, going back to the Brian Friend point, is to appeal to a larger audience than the one that is available to you in this space and then bring them back to this space. Do you know what I mean? Or to use their eyes as like, well,
Yeah,
hey, look, I've got 4 million people watch my videos. Even if they're not going to watch this next one about CrossFit, I can, I still have that power.
Yeah, man. I was at Zelos games, and I was talking to Jake Foster, who's a current Mayhem coach,
Former Underdogs coach.
and
I know shit.
I've never done that before. That's a first. I was copying you. I couldn't finish it either. I kind of went cerebral palsy mode. Like, ugh.
I'm just gonna write down the time of that. Go on.
Right. But he asked some question along those lines, like, and you're right. And I try to do a little bit of it, but YouTube does not reward you for doing shit that your people don't want to watch, and that's when I learned that. So I would probably have to make a new YouTube channel to do that.
Which is probably why Nate did the golf and why, you know what I mean?
Right. So if Nate Everton threw golf videos on his current channel, his CrossFit videos would do worse and his golf videos would do shit because YouTube doesn't know who to give it to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's so fucking simple, which makes me so upset when I see people who just don't get it.
Here we go. Kenneth. I'm on the meat and fruit team. I'm loving it.
Hey, did you hear Sevon today talking about you?
Yeah. That was nice.
What did he
I
say?
like that.
He said your skin's looking good, and I noticed that the other day too.
Yeah, it looks like shit now, and I don't know why it looks so bad now.
A little bit more like not sunk in, but like cut in.
I don't know why it looks so bad now. I think it's that
How much are you down?
Like 5.5 kilos, like 10 pounds.
5.5
Roughly.
kilos is like 12.
Yeah. No, 6 is 12. 12
6
pound wall ball is 6
12.4.
kilos. 12 pound wall ball is 6 kilos. That's what I'm going off.
We're arguing about ounces here, but you've lost over 10 pounds.
Yeah. Anyway,
But you eat as much as you want, right?
yeah. Now there have been days recently where I've been kind of shit. Not recently, but like say a week ago, where I'm like unplanned, like I didn't plan as effectively as I had. Like I was fucking anal about it up to after Crash. And then when I came back from Crash, I was fucking exhausted that week. Like I was so tired. Landed in the airport at 5 a.m. and went straight to work. And then collected my kids on the way home from work. And it was just like conveyor belt for the whole week. So that week, at the end of the week, I was in a pit. And I was just like, I don't care. I just need to eat like food. I actually just don't even care like what's here. And I haven't planned effectively. I haven't like done shopping and stuff. And I've fallen into that trap a couple of days where I'd starve myself because I won't have anything to have. I'll be like, there's nothing here.
The beautiful thing about the meat and fruit diet is you eat as much as you want.
Yeah, but if there's nothing in the house, then you're like, if there's no
always
meat
and fruit.
No, there's not always meat and fruit in the house. That's my point.
What do you mean? There's not always meat and fruit.
My son is a vacuum for fruit. So if there's fruit in the house, it's gone. So the only thing he doesn't eat is mangoes because he can't, or pineapple because he can't prep them himself.
Bingo.
Everything else, everything else he takes and eats.
How old is your son?
2.
Okay.
So he reaches up and like takes like oranges and shit out of the bowl and goes. And if he's just like
What
everything
room are
is,
you in right now? What room is this? Is this in
It's
your
like a-
house?
yeah, it's a gym. Like it's like a front room.
I know it's a gym, but like, where is it? Because you can hide fruit in there. You just don't tell them it's in there.
Yeah, that's actually true. I could. But that's my point. I'm ill prepared, or I have been ill prepared. But yeah, now I actually, funnily enough, JR messaged me and said, "Oh, you look great in that video." Savan said it, and Tyler messaged me and said, "You look great in that video." And Chase
You do.
messaged me and said, "You look great in that video."
And I thought
So-
it.
So that's
I
so that's
didn't want to
that's
jerk
kind
you
of
off.
giving me that. I feel like that's giving me the impetus to be like, right, I need to actually plan effectively now. Then carrying on and go to Wadapalooza and see what I can achieve between now and Wadapalooza.
Hey, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were on growth hormone.
I actually don't know if you can get them here.
CJC 1295 or Sermorelin or something, because your skin looked that good.
I actually don't think you can get them here.
Yes, you can.
Well, you
I know a
probably
guy who knows a guy.
can. Kevin McLean. Yeah, no,
But-
I don't know.
No, but
Are
anyway,
you-
seriously,
Are you gonna do the Open this year?
I don't have a plan for that. Like I said, it's like a legit made that thing on a whim.
Yeah.
And I'll probably try to put a little bit into it this time around, but I won't know until probably a month out when it will be happening. That was right
Yeah.
off the Open. That was right after the Open.
You can kind of get away with it as well because it's an online thing and you don't need a facility to hold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just be like, all right, we're doing it tomorrow instead
Hey,
of
dude.
like,
And here's the fucking thing about it. I had like 1,000 people sign up for that shit, right? I paid all the judges. I watched every fucking video. I sent out fucking 20 pairs of shoes. I sent out 10 cases of fucking C4. And, sorry, I'm swearing a lot on your show at this moment.
It's okay.
Travis sent out shirts. And that was to these people. And I had a way to do it. And I'm one dude. And I made the freaking competition on accident. And it drives me insane that they have nothing at this point in time for this level of a competition, that being the CrossFit Open. And the winner got $1,000.
yeah,
And then I think it went 300, 200. So 1,000 for the winner, 300, 200. And 100, 100, 100. And then there was a person who got a pair of shoes that lived somewhere I couldn't figure out shipping. So I just sent him more money. And I still have the shoes. Sorry, I can't send you these shitty Noble lifters.
how long did it take you to pay everyone?
Well, I had all the videos reviewed after I think it was 2 weeks. I had everything shipped out after about 5 weeks because I was flying around everywhere. So I had a box of shoes and everything over here, and I was doing it all by myself.
Still faster than start of August to mid-November.
The judges were awesome. It was cool to work with them. I had
That's
this
cool.
spreadsheet made up. I said, "Hey guys, here are your videos. Go watch them." And then I had like the top set of videos. And then after they would watch them, I'd go back and do like a second review, just a clear over. I thought it was smooth. It was great. But
I
my
think
claim to fame on that is I had my eyes on 4,000 separate workout videos over the course of those 3 weeks.
Shit.
It was probably more like 2,500. No,
That's
it was 860 competitors by 4 workouts, where some people had fallen off. So it was in like the 2000s, low 2000s,
2,500 or so, or 2,600.
something
Yeah.
like that. But people fell off.
I'm thinking of doing a competition next autumn.
Ernie, you can't say something like that after the speech I just gave about it, man. Hillary really did a great job running that. He doesn't give himself enough credit. I appreciate it, but I don't think you could say that at that
Generally speaking, he doesn't give himself enough credit.
moment. Okay, that's fair. More fair.
I'm thinking of running a competition next fall.
Yeah. What's that look like?
I initially said autumn and then I changed to fall to suit you.
Thank you.
So I have the idea is ready, but everything else is like nothing else is ready. And that's because I am a planner, so that stresses me out. So the idea is to run 2 competitions concurrently please nobody steal this idea because somebody already basically did, but nobody else steal, please. So I'm going to do an affiliate competition, team of 3, male, female. Every affiliate on the island of Ireland is going to get an invite. So that's about 37, 38 teams ish on current numbers. And then along with that, I'm going to run an individual invite only competition with 8 males and 8 females. And they'll be athletes who don't qualify for Rogue, but maybe have been to the games, or bubble semifinals athletes who like almost made the games but didn't quite make the games, like those kind of athletes. And there'll be prizes for the affiliate teams and there'll be prizes for the individuals. And the individuals hopefully will do Friday and Saturday, and the affiliate teams will do Saturday. And I'm going to get CrossFit UK and CrossFit Ireland to come and do some workshops and do some like.
Where is it going to be?
Where? In Ireland.
So, do you have a spot?
No. I have idea. I know what I want. So myself and Mikey Aldridge are basically sorting it out between us. And we both have a very specific idea of what we want. And it's the same idea, but it's just really hard to source what we want. Because we don't want it to be in a venue that has a running track. Like, you know, one of those kind of sports center places. We don't want it to be.
Or you do not want that.
Don't want it.
Why?
Because we have a very specific idea of how we want it to look.
No running.
No, there can be running, but just not. I just don't want that big, wide, white, open, bright space. That's not what I'm after. Basically, what we're looking at, what we're trying to get.
Works out in a dungeon. You can go do it in his gym, in his basement.
What we're actually looking at is renting a film studio. You know those warehouses that are just like 4 black walls, black roof, concrete floor.
Yes.
And then you can light it any way you want. And you can set it up any way you want. And you can have the rig whatever way you want. It's not set already. It's not a gym that's already set up and you have to work with what you've got. You can set it up whatever way you want. And have space. Like, they're generally huge. But the problem is, because I live in Ireland, there's like 2 of them. And one of them doesn't answer the phone and one of them doesn't answer emails.
You gotta drive up to that thing. Just knock on the door.
Yeah, I will. But dink. That's a dink idea.
I don't got kids. Right.
But yeah,
let's go bombard this open space.
Yeah, so that's the plan. JR is going to program it.
Cool. Good idea.
We've started bouncing some ideas back and forth. But the issue is trying to get it funded, because I have like absolutely no money. So it needs to be entirely externally funded. And I don't want to shaft the affiliates by charging like above and beyond for team tickets, you know what I mean, for that. So my plan is I'm going to find out what every other competition charges for a team, and I'm going to charge less. And I'm going to find out what every other competition charges for a spectator. I'm going to charge less. I'm going to charge, but I'm going to charge less.
Check the comments. You got one.
And then I'm going to what did I get?
Paper Street.
Where am I looking? Oh,
I'm in.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
By Paper Street Coffee.
And I'm going to charge less for spectators, charge less for teams, and charge more for vendors, because by that logic, there'll be more people with more expendable or disposable income because they've paid less. So if you've got an extra $15 in your pocket going to an event because the ticket was cheaper, then you're more willing to spend that $15 on the vendors. That's my logic. It's always
use that as a selling point.
That's what I'm going to say.
So as your agent, I would use that in all the marketing.
My 2 main things are, I'm going to market myself to the vendors of, I'm going to charge you more, but you will have more foot traffic and more people with more disposable income at your stand.
And I'll be telling everybody that they walked in this door for free, so you better buy some shit.
Yeah. And
quote that, put it on your.
My USP for sponsors coming on is, we are going to set up the event in such a way that the media that comes out of the event is going to be like nothing that's been seen before, because it's going to be purely focused. Like the staging, the lighting, the setting is going to be purely focused on getting like obviously it's really it's focused on, like, the main focus is finding someone who deserves to win the prize money, obviously. But the reason that we're in that setting, and the reason that the lighting will be the way it is, and the reason that it's going to be set up by someone who's in media, who does CrossFit media, so that the sponsors that sponsor it will have unique content that they generally don't get from these kind of events, and the athletes will have unique content that they generally don't get from these kind of events, because it'll be different from, it's not going to be in a gym, it's not going to be outside in a field, it's not going to be in a really well lit like area. Not that I have nothing against any of those things, I just want this to be different, and I think that's how you make it different.
Is good.
And I think it will appeal to sponsors. Like, I was talking to one company, and I said, "Hey, what would you think about?" He's, "No, fuck off! Like, we're not doing any more events." He was like, his point was, athletes don't want to do them. Like, they want to be paid to go. They don't want to do them at that time of year. Like, they're tired, they're busy, etc. And then I explained the concept, and he goes, "All right, okay, yeah."
Oh,
So like he flip flopped in after my explanation of what we're doing, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, okay." And then I had another couple be like, "Yeah, we're in. We need proof of concept, but you can consider us in for like 5 or 6 grand. But I need that to be like 10 or 12 because it's going to cost about 50 to put it on."
okay. Paper Street, did you hear that?
If anyone has Katie and Bill, contact with Katie and Bill. I'm in their DMs as well.
That'd be great. You get Rogan as a sponsor.
I need an
Rogan.
equipment. I need an equipment to sponsor, because that's the thing. Like, you talk to JR, and he's like, "I've built my gym around the idea of hosting competitions, and I've bought my equipment for my gym based around the idea of hosting competitions." So it makes sense. Whereas it's like, right, Peter or Pedro, how are you going to do your competition? I'm going to rent a blank space because I don't have a space, and I'm going to fill it with equipment that I don't have, that I need to buy or rent. And if I buy it, I need to sell it on. It's fucking bold.
I can ship you all this shit. What's the VAT going to be on that?
Just mark it down as a gift.
Hey, you mind pulling up this comment from Julie Jones really quick?
Yeah,
I remember this conversation.
"Hey Hitler, I'm the lady from Paper Street who said that she wasn't your fan after Street Parking, who said that she wasn't your fan after Fitness Freedom, and you replied, 'I hope to win you over. Well, friend, in the past few months,' smiley face. Oh shit, she still hates you. Oh no, smiley face, she likes you.
Well, friend, you did. You left out the did part.
This is like, it's coming up on 11 o'clock. I'm just tired.
Oh, you're sleepy, man.
I
remember saying that.
That's cool that you won her over, and I think that's the case with a lot of people. To come full circle, I think that's the case with a lot of people. People have a conception, or they have an idea of what you are, and then they're like, "Oh, actually, shit, I was wrong."
And you know what's the best part? I like when people bicker with each other in the comment sections about it. Especially when I can't comment on Instagram. I can't fight for myself anymore. They took away my ability to comment.
Can you not comment on anything? Even if you comment a thumbs up?
The comment I made today was on Heber Cannon, saying did you see that by chance?
The belt squat or
when you belt was PR, I go, not quite, homie.
Yeah.
As they say, close but no cigar. Hey, what did Patrick Clark say? Can you guarantee those sponsors a set amount of traffic? That's a
like
question.
views from my end. No, but I can guarantee them a unique source of content that they can use and reuse as they wish afterwards.
Hey, if you want to, I don't know if this at all fits your idea, but everyone's obsessed with this whole live stream thing, right? We're live streaming this right now. And by all means, I think this is kind of simple, but everyone's kind of CrossFit game, stream. That is a huge spectator sport, but yours is going to kind of be condensed. And if you got people like Ortega there, and I think Rosie said that something about, but if you have people there with cameras, you could really easily package it and create like a post-watch competition, as long as you can keep the results internal. Like, hey, we had this competition, and we have everyone shooting all this shit on 4K stuff where it's edited up and pretty. And it would look a lot like what CrossFit did with Linda this year, the semifinals, where you're watching Linda and it looks fantastic, but everyone already knows what happens. and we didn't want to watch it now. We wanted to watch it live because it was live.
Yeah, true.
It's something that I thought about. Like if I were to have like a little mini 5-person competition, this is where I got the idea, in my garage, I could record everything. And then I could just like, hey guys, hey, I put on a 5-person competition. Watch it. Who are the athletes? Well, here's a little tidbit that I can put in the middle of the fucking thing because it was produced. It wasn't live.
Hang on one sec.
Clock. I realized that Hiller and I want the same thing out of CrossFit. I think we talk about it differently, but the ultimate goal is the same: a better season and more accountability. 100%. Julie Jones. What are we looking at here? What's Castro up to?
Will's had to put up his story. Oh,
What is that?
that's Ben that owns Rad.
Oh, I thought that was Dave sitting in a chair with someone else's face in the camera. It
And
was
he's
really
wearing-
messing with me.
He's wearing the Rad kit. Look, hang on. That's cool, isn't it? The Rad CrossFit Games. Look at his fucking stupid face. So funny. He's a cool guy, Ben.
Ben.
Yeah. All right. Oh, there's audio on it. Shit. Hang on. Sorry, I didn't realize.
You
there was audio.
need to have a Caleb.
I do.
Caleb's so funny.
He's very witty, very dry. I like it.
He's kind of
Right.
like you.
Present, share screen.
Hey, I know.
Before that, we're gonna. So I'm supposed to look at you in the fucking camera?
Yeah.
That's some weird shit. Do I have to?
You can pretend I'm not here,
But you are.
but I am.
So
That's
Ben
quite
Ben
a
is recording. Oh, okay. I thought the camera was pointing at Ben. The camera is actually pointing at Castro, and Castro's going to have the conversation with Ben, but through looking through the lens. Is that what the fuck is that? I'm really confused.
That thing up top is either an external monitor or a video transmitter.
So is this camera
have no
recording
idea what's
Ben
going
or
on.
recording Dave?
It doesn't look like the thing is pointed at Ben.
Yeah, I think that is set up so that Dave can see Ben's face when he's talking to him.
Hey, any of these camera people, Rosie or Ortega, what the hell is happening in this picture? I don't know. You ever see the words?
So I'm
that
supposed
roll
to
across
look
the
at you in the fucking camera?
Yeah.
That's some weird shit.
teleprompter. I wonder
Do I
if there's a
have to?
teleprompter involved here.
You can pretend
Because
I'm
if I had to
not
guess, the thing on the left could maybe be a teleprompter. That little side.
Yeah, it looks like this is a mirror over here. This side. But he also says you can pretend I'm not here. So he's like, I'm supposed to look at you in the camera. You can pretend I'm not here. Anyway,
Sean
interesting.
Lenderman. Castro this is something that I thought about asking you over the course of the show, and I know you're trying to go. Castro is a big fan of Hiller's comment about HQ wanting control. Now, here's the thing. I think we've all watched Dave Castro's week in review. And
Yeah.
to me, I didn't really get an answer about that.
No, he kind of he kind of does that a lot with questions where he focuses on one specific aspect of the question and doesn't answer the whole question. So
Well,
he
I mean,
answered about
all I said is that it's about control. My comment was about control. And I didn't hear Castro define the fact that they aren't trying to show that they can get control
no, but he answered the initial question
about
about
franchise.
the franchise. He focused in on that. That was his like, I can answer that question. Do you know what I mean? He's like, it's
Do
safe
you
for me to
also
answer
like
that
how
question.
he said he can't speak for what happens 5 years from now?
Yeah. Do you get torn because like you admire him and you really like him?
Yeah.
So do you get torn when he says something and you're like, oh fuck? Like, is it easy for you? Is it hard for you not to just say, well, Dave said it, so okay?
God, I really wish that I had that in me to just, someone says something, but if there's a giant tidal wave coming and he's telling you it's okay, you're not just gonna do it because it's your dad. Like, Dad, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's okay. They never hit home. they never make it to shore. Like, sure fucking looks like it's gonna, dude. You gotta get out of here. So I'm not saying that Castro's my father or anything. I'm just saying that for as much as you could potentially like somebody, he also said in there he doesn't know what's happening in 5 years, and he didn't answer the question. And he has a role now where I'm assuming he's making money in a position that he likes quite a bit, and he might be doing the things he's got to do the things he wants to do. And I get that too. That doesn't mean
is it more brand diminishing for him to continue doing the videos the way that he's doing them, or to stop doing them?
It would be more brand diminishing to stop doing them. And I don't think that they're at all brand diminishing at the minute. I think
I just worry that are they heading that way when he won't?
I think that just like me, no. And I know that I keep on keeping you on. You said you go to bed.
Sorry.
I've made over 600 videos. I don't know how many at the moment, but a lot. And I'm damn sure that when I say something, that it's what I 100% believe, because then I don't need to backpedal on it. And I also try to make sure that I'm not going to get fucked up by somebody over here or over there. So I try not to talk about things I don't know about. So either I'm certain or I can pull from something where I'm kind of saying, hey, this thing said this. But with what Castro's doing, he has a lot of information out there like I do. And I'm just hoping that it doesn't come back to stuff like that where he's got a question about control, and then CrossFit does something where I can point to that conversation and say, hey, dude, what?
Yeah.
Because I got the brain of an elephant, which I think that's a good thing. I remember stuff.
Yeah. Better than the brain of an ostrich. That's the smallest brain.
Patrick Clark, how do you hire a third party to do that survey and not even review it? I don't believe that they didn't get eyes on it. If they didn't, then that's just a bad move. But I guess that's par for the course. Helping a privately held company that was sold less than 5 years ago also can't really say what they're going to be doing in 5 years.
True. Both true.
The comment sections can just drive a show. That's Sevon's live call-in shows in a nutshell.
I'm out.
Thing, by the way, you're out. All right, I'll just stay here and I'll man the fort.
Well, I'm going to end the stream, so thank you everyone that gave money. That was much appreciated. Fuck you, David. Thank you everyone that gave money. I appreciate it. And thank you, Hiller. That was great. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, homie.
My pleasure.